Welcome, everybody, to the last group of the BSL15 North American Championship. I am Nyokin, and joining me, the one and only Raz McDaz, who was just playing in Group D a moment ago. What's up, dude?
Nyokin, how are you today?
I'm doing good, but I heard the bad news that the fake Dan's not playing anymore.
It hurts that the fake Dan is not here. Now we have only the real Dan in the event, the one and true Terran Dan of NA.
That's right, you're damn right. But we've got a good replacement, Jaeyun, clutching it. He's coming in to fill in at the last moment, and he's going to be going up against SeriOsity. And I was checking out the chat, and some people were saying they think actually now that Jaeyun's joined the group, he's the favorite to make it out. And it's hard to argue with that. I mean, he's super strong, but Hawk on the top side, Hawk's really damn good. I'm looking at the bracket, Hawk versus Exit. Oh man, Exit, I know he recently got S rank, but Hawk is top tier Zerg in the NA scene.
Yeah, I think Hawk's still one of the favorites of this group for sure. Jaeyun definitely throwing a curveball coming in here. The big question is going to be, what race will Jaeyun be playing? I know he's been mixing it up. He did the Artosis challenge. He got S rank with Terran as well. So let's see what he pulls out today.
Yeah, it would be hilarious if he plays Terran. He's replacing Artosis. Maybe that was the agreement that, hey, Jaeyun, you want to play, you got to play Terran. It wouldn't surprise me if he did pull it out, try to get frisky, but more than likely we are going to see Protoss. We're getting a look at our two players in our first match. It's going to be Exit versus Hawk. As you can see, Exit, a newcomer to the BSL. Meanwhile, Hawk, no newcomer to BSL. Consistently, he does well every single season.
Yeah, I mean, Hawk, staple of NA, just a strong player in all of the matchups. Just a solid player. Always hits his timing, hits his builds, knows exactly what he wants to do. Definitely not worried about the pressure. He's played in these events before, so it'll definitely be a challenge for Exit.
Yeah, I'm looking at that win rate, dude. You see that? 80% versus Terran?
Wow.
Exit, you're in trouble, bro. You are in big time trouble. If Jaeyun's looking at the stats, he may be thinking about race picking versus Hawk. Zerg, 22% win rate versus Zerg. But as you stated, Hawk is just a monster these days. Like, a lot of people always talk about who's the best player in NA, but it's hard to come up with one of them because everybody's so even. Hawk's up there, Gypsy, Jaeyun, Dragon, myself, tons of people up there. With all that said, our map is ready. It's butter. Let's get into game one between Exit and Hawk. All right, in the top right, our Zerg, it is Hawk.
And in the bottom right, we have our Terran player. It is Exit. So now can you play this matchup? So tell me a little bit about TBZ on Butter here. How do you feel about this, these spawns, all of that?
Well, if I can get bottom right, that's the ideal spawn for me, since you can have that little semi-wall if you want to at the natural. As far as builds, I know pros originally were not playing bio at all here. In fact, there was maybe a 1 month stretch where it was just pure mech, or at least delayed mech opener. But now I think Butter's been practiced a little bit, and people are just going back to normal openers. We see Exit sending out his first SCV, and that is going to be that wall or semi-wall at the natural. I think this is already fantastic. Meanwhile, Hawk on the other side, nothing unusual. Probably just going to be standard 12 hatch.
Yeah, I think with the rush distance being so great, I think a 12 hatch is going to be fine here. He'll be able to transition into a normal ZBT that he's probably very familiar with and likes. Just standard 2-hatch muta into probably some lurker play from there. So the interesting thing about this map that I always find is, in our last cast when we were talking about it, is they're just hills on top of hills. Do you think that favors Zerg a little bit here with the swarm and lurkers to try to be able to stop some of these bio timing and move outs?
I think it could get... I think if Hawk was somebody that used hold position lurkers, it could be more dangerous because you could be moving uphill out of vision. I mean, they're burrowed anyway, so I guess it doesn't really matter, but there's more areas where you could potentially set up a hold position lurker. We do see fast scout from Exit. Well, actually not really a fast scout. It's kind of a normal scout. Okay, now this is fast. This is a 2-minute pool with a 2-minute gas. This is somewhere between 5 and 10 seconds faster. Usually Mutalisks are popping out at 5:45, and Terrans are always trying to cut as much as possible, get their turrets up at the last second. So this already could catch Exit off guard if he mistimes a turret.
Yeah, it seems like Hawk wants to put the pressure on right from the start. He definitely wants to get all up over Exit's base, just harass him, force him multitask, really make him uncomfortable. As he knows, first time in an event like this, probably feeling a little bit of nerves and pressure, so he just wants to keep that going, I'm sure.
Yeah, now, do you know how Exit plays? You know, I actually have only played him on the ladder like once or twice. I've seen him snipe Artosis as Dark Artosis a couple of times, but I haven't actually seen Exit play much because I don't think he streams. So do you know any like intel into his TVZ? Like, it looks pretty normal so far.
So I have seen him play some games with some other NA players, and he does play pretty standard. Usually just bio, just normal timing, nothing super crazy, nothing out of the ordinary. When he's Dark Artosis, he may get a little wild, but other than that, he's usually playing pretty standard.
Okay, well, I'll be looking to see when that academy comes down, because we saw Dandy a couple days ago play pretty normal. Or was it Dandy? Can't remember exactly who the Terran player was, but it was like a 4-minute academy, which is kind of used in the older days, or I guess like a year or a year and a half ago. Better econ though. I see Exit still no gas at his main yet, so he is probably going into that Dandy style 345 gas or so academy at 4 minutes. That's going to give him a huge marine ball. However, he's not going to be able to move out with it, so Hawk will be able to take a third base on location if he wants. He may just build it in the main, and there it is. There's the third hatch in the main. So this is just a safe opener from Hawk.
Which I think a lot of times when you feel like you are the better player, a lot of times you want to play safe standard and make sure you're just hitting everything that you want to hit, which I totally understand. No reason to get risky, no reason to get tricky. Just do exactly what you're good at and just keep putting that pressure on them.
Yeah, exactly. So we do see just a couple of lings. This is as greedy as it gets, really. It's 2 lings. That's it. There's no 4 lings, no real threat of a counterattack, no like 6 or 8 lings like Crossy likes to do, where as soon as you move out, I'm backstabbing you. So Hawk, even though he's got that 2-minute gas, 2-minute pool, look at his drone count, 24 to 23. He's actually up in workers somehow. I don't know how that happened, but Exit, he's gonna need to get something. Oh my goodness, is that a 4th hatch? This guy, how does he have all this money?
I was going to say, Eric, and the Protoss in me wants him to move at least across the map a little bit with those Marines to force some more lings out, just to put a little pressure on. Don't let him be super greedy. Even if he just does the halfway across and come on back, just cause any kind of trouble for Hawk so that he'll actually make some more Zerglings and be honest.
Yeah, this is insane green. 4 hatch, no sunkens. He has 2 lings. I think he even cut speed. So actually that's usually a tell that the hatch is in the main. Which it is, by the way, but there's a 4th at the third base. Now, as I stated, because this is a 4-minute academy, you can see the medics have just popped out, and I stated that, you know, Muta's going to be coming out at like 5:45, so there's no way that he can really go for an attack here before Muta's come out. He's going to move out, though, so we'll see if he can get something done.
Oh, and we see Hawk already just getting those 2 lings in the base, going to get full scouting information. Oh, he's going to get into the mineral line first and harass some SCVs. Let's see if he can get a couple. Gets 1 and then keeps those lings moving. Going to get the full scout, like we said, which is going to be really fantastic for him. He'll know exactly what he's up against and all the timings that Exit has here.
Oh my gosh, this is so painful. Watching a second SCV fall, potentially a third SCV. Hawk not paying attention there because he's getting busted at his net, and actually there were no sunkens. Drone pull, there's a decent amount of Mutalisk, but remember, this academy was a bit slower than usual, so there's no range. You just jump on top, he's gonna lose a ton of them. So this was actually a fantastic trade for Exit. He's gonna be feeling amazing about this.
Getting some!
I can't believe he got so many kills. But unbeknownst to him, actually doing all that damage, there's still a third base up. It's 4 hatch production, so he'll be able to replenish that drone count and Muta count pretty quickly.
Wow, what a fantastic move out. While Hawk was sitting there with those 2 lings, Exit said, let's go for it, probably scanned, saw no sunkens, and was able to push in. He even was able to help get himself back ahead in workers. I think Hawk was almost to that 30 drone mark, so he kind of helped even himself out a little bit there. And only 4 mutas now for Hawk on the map.
Yeah, well, any amount of mutas can be scary. 4 doesn't sound like a lot, but when you stem, you become one-shottable, and there's only 1 medic there, so 5 or 4 mutas can get a lot of damage done. looking to see if there's really any opening that the mutas can exploit. I don't really see one other than this depot. So for now, Exit should be feeling pretty good. I saw his factory's about halfway done. He needs to get his gas up and running pretty soon, because once he double starports, I assume he's going to double starport, obviously going to cut into that gas. He is going to trade a couple Marines for 2 mutas, so that's actually not bad.
Yeah, he got 2. We see that Hawk just poking in, trying to keep him here. I think we've said it before, but hitting that depot, not the worst thing for Terran, right? You kind of get your more time while the mutas just hit the building that you don't care. It's only 100 minerals, so might as well just let them hit it and just poke them as they go back and forth.
Yeah, hey, you want to shoot that depot, that's fine with me, just don't shoot my SCVs. In fact, I'll even kill the depot for you if you want to just hang around there. There are games where it actually messes up my AI. I'm like, hey, let me just knock this down for you. It's because I really just don't care about it. But look at that. Didn't know we were in StarCraft 2. That's a massive drone cycle. He's up to 32 workers versus 42. Exit's done a really good job to manage his SCV count. Meanwhile, the tech is coming in, so double starport as expected. And is he going to go Valks, or is he going to go Science Facility is the question for me.
And he does scan that third base, so now he knows where it is. He is aware that Hawk has expanded to the top left. You see a small group of bio moving out. I'm a little bit worried for this group here with only 1 medic. Well, doing a good job, though, poking in and out. Oh, the second medic is going on a little sightseeing trip.
Yeah, I'm worried for Exit with this army. It's 11 Marines versus 11 mutas with Ling support, and he saw that it's only 1 medic, so he is going to back off. This is a smart move. Oh, big hit there. Loses, what, 2 or 3? He's going to lose another 1. Probably lose the medic, too, only 1 muta. This is fantastic from Hawk, and it is Science Facility. I can see a big building being built in the main. Meanwhile, Ling's coming in, so actually Exit might just outright die here. There's nothing.
Not good here from Exit. Hawk going to send those Lings in to take down those turrets while he can harass in the main and kill off Marines with the muta. Getting on Terran production, always a great thing for Zerg. Not letting any of those Marines kind of reinforce to this natural here.
I think that this game might be done, Raz. It's 5 racks or 4 racks, but they're coming out single file, getting picked off left and right. There's still no answer to the Lings. They're just flooding in nonstop. And there it is. GG. Exit taps out.
That's a bit unfortunate there, though, Naokin. I thought Exit had a little good push there. He kind of pushed into the base, evened out that worker count, got himself ahead. Just unfortunate. As soon as he started moving out with that amount of bio, he just kind of opened himself up for that muta harassment and Ling kind of combination kind of to push on through.
Yeah, it looked like the macro slipped for a second because the Marine count was just too low. I don't know if he got supply blocked, but it could have been one of those moments that I've had in game where it's like, I'm doing better than I expected, and it's like, holy crap, am I actually winning? And then you kind of mess up your builder, mess up your macro. It looked like that kind of happened, and unfortunately for Exit, you can't do that versus someone like Hawk. He will pick you apart just like he did, and that means Hawk's up 1-0, but at least it's going to be Exit's map pick, and my opinion is there's a ton of good Terran maps in the map pool. It really doesn't bother me which one he picks other than Gladiator. I hate that map. Do you like that map?
I do not like Gladiator. If you saw in my series, I opened up with the 2 gates to try to just get some early damage. I don't like the ramps. I don't like going up and down, especially versus Zerg Terran tanks and lurkers on high ground. No, thank you. No, thank you. I don't need that in my life. But now, I'm sure Exit went back and watched the replay. If you see how greedy Hawk was, do you try to open up with something like an 8 racks in the second game? Try to punish some of that?
You could. I think Hawk's greed was kind of in the mid game, not necessarily in the early game. If I was Exit here, I would go for the more standard these days, 330, 340 Academy and move out. Because if he had made that move out, Hawk would have had to cancel the third base and built Sunkens in response. He would have had to. There's no way he could have held it. He can't afford all that. Plus mutas. So that might be the switch up he needs to secure a victory. He's decided on his map, though. It is going to be Vermeer. So let's get into game 2. Right, in the top left, our red Terran down 0-1. It's Exit.
And the bottom right in blue, the Zerg everyone knows here, it is Hawk.
Yeah,
now,
last game.
I was saying, now you can Vermeer. 2 barracks fit in the middle of the map, don't they?
Oh, they do? I don't know, because that's not my move, man. Probably it does. I know that, who is it? Bust Heron showed us that a barracks fits at top middle and bottom middle when he BBS Mihu, so I guess we could see that. I don't know enough about Exit to know if that's actually a strategy that he pulls out.
I was gonna say, Nyokin, Bust Heron showed us that 2 barracks fit anywhere on the map. They can be placed all over the place. So.
Yeah, I know. I actually thought Bust Heron was gonna win that the Asian Championship. He was looking so good, but in the end, John Hoon and the Zerg's just ridiculous. I gotta say, last game Exit's bust, as I was watching him kill all those mutas and seeing Zerg have no sunken and no lings. I don't know about you, but I was thinking, this is justice. This is absolute justice. Now, imagine, like, you're Protoss and you don't build cannons versus Hydras. Like, it's justice, right? Like, Zerg deserves to win that game. Like, it was just so absurd watching Hawk play that opener. I mean, that's just my opinion as a Terran player. I could be a little bit biased.
I mean, if I see 973 and I make 1 cannon, I know that I'm just playing with fire. I'm just probably going to get busted.
Exactly. Yeah.
Just playing with fire.
All right, well, okay. Oh, okay, we're not at the 2-minute mark. I was like, am I really going to see Hawk go for a 3-hatch? But the answer is no. He's going to put down that 205-ish gas again. So basically the same opener as last game. We see that Exit goes for the typical scout timing, doesn't find anything. Depot in the main, or second depot in the main, not willing to risk going command center after a single depot without scouting. So this is the normal move that every Terran player does.
Yeah, now, watching a lot of the ASL, it seemed like a lot of Terrans did opt for mech play here. We saw that great game, I think it was with Mong, that he played like an hour-long TVZ straight on mech, just taking base after base, because this map is kind of unique in the sense that there are gas at every single expansion. Do you think that's something that could factor in here?
Yeah, I think these days mech is the way to play as a transition off of bioplay, because there was a period where Zergs were just blindly building Hydra, Lurker, Defiler because everybody was going PCs. But hey, guess what beats Hydras and Lurkers and Defiler? Well, Mass Tank does. So I think that's the go-to these days, but now kind of people are switching away from Hydra, Lurker, Defiler. They're playing more Ling Ultra, where, you know, you could catch a Terran mid-transition. You could drop Ultras directly on a low tank count. So we'll see if Exit wants to go for that. We're too early in the game to make a decision. And there we go, Raz. What did I say about that switch up? 330 gas, there it is. So this is going to be Academy at 345. And I guarantee you this time, if Hawk puts down a 4th base, or a 4th hatch, he's going to have to cancel that hatch just to survive.
Yeah, I really like that. He didn't put down the bunker. He sees only 2 lings. He could be a little bit greedy himself. So he can just kind of take all those advantages he wants and maybe get that little stim rush in and get across the map right away. Doing a great job here at the SCV, making sure it doesn't die, getting all that scouting information, seeing that 3rd hatchery. All key information for this part of the game.
Yeah, and this was a massive scout. Like, scouting the hatch now, basically, the only reason you would get scans now is if you think this is somebody that could go for Lurkers. If you're not worried about Lurkers, you don't even have to build this scan for forever, really. We saw that the SCV just now died, basically when the lair completed, so he knows Hydra Den isn't coming anytime soon. So he can just build a million SCVs. I gotta say here, though, Exit, dude, you gotta transfer them SCVs. This could be a little bit of nerves coming into play. He has almost no SCVs at his NAT right now. One of them not even mining. He is looking to move out pretty soon, though. Hawk moving across with 6 lings. That's 9 Marines. So actually, Exit has cut quite a bit to get up an absurd amount of Marines for this opener.
Yeah, I mean, if he's really looking for that bus timing like he wants, I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it could be played into his hands where he can get across the map and really catch Hawk out. I guess he's got to be really careful again for this little backstab like Hawk did last time. But it might be the same window. No lings at home, no sunkens, but 6 lings coming into the net here. Oh, picking off 1 Marine already.
Yeah, he needs to...
Not turning around.
Yeah, he's just going to counter, and this is where it's going to get weird. Both players are going to try and micro armies on different sides of the map. Sunkens are coming in. If Exit was to stem across the map right now, I think he wins. Even though he's taking damage in his main. He's going to go... He is stimming. Here we go, Ample style. But The first Sunken is in time, and that means... Oh, Exit gonna come in for round 2. All you have to do is knock this Sunken down to 100 health, and it will get one-shotted, but with Lings popping out, Stim running out, drones and Lings surrounded, and this task force is easily gonna get cleaned up. Oh, he just insta-taps out.
GG's out, Nyokin. Oh, no.
I think the build order was correct. You could see it forced 2 Sunkens, but 6-lane counterattack did unreal amounts of damage, and as I pointed out, he was cutting a lot. You could see it simply because of his SCV count at his natural, so I actually don't blame him there. He knows it's 3-hatch Zerg, it's going to be big eco, no map presence, and unfortunately that means Exit's going to be knocked down to the loser's bracket in quick fashion.
Yeah, I thought Exit played pretty well. He showed well. Unfortunately, he couldn't get his Marines across there in time. But he'll have another shot at it, and he'll play the loser here between Jaeyun and SeriOsity. So
yeah,
has another shot.
Yeah, he's not out, but I think it could be equally as hard if somehow SeriOsity takes down Jaeyun. Because if you face Jaeyun, as other people in chat already stated, Jaeyun is somebody that can definitely take the whole group. So if Exit gets the unlucky fortune of facing Jaeyun down in the elimination match, it could be a swift victory for Jaeyun, because Jaeyun's really damn strong. But we're going to be going into a break, and then we'll come back with our next series, which is going to be Jaeyun versus SeriOsity. So don't go anywhere. back. We just saw Hawk plow through exit 2-0. He's in the winner's match. And now we've got Jaeyun versus SeriOsity. We haven't seen Jaeyun in a while, but we haven't seen SeriOsity in even longer. You know when the last time we saw SeriOsity was? It was versus me in like BSL7, man. He knocked me out.
Oh, no way. He knocked out the real Dan?
Yeah, he knocked out the real Dan. So I think people here think, okay, Jaeyun, we're going to have him in the winner's match, but actually, SeriOsity, I think it could be an upset. For sure, it could be an upset. I think SeriOsity is what, playing Zerg versus Protoss? Is that what Zero told us? Or is it?
Yes, it's going to be
okay.
playing Zerg.
Well, look at this. Jaeyun was inspired by the Asian Championship. Look at him. He's joining that YH clan. Isn't that the same team that Mihu's in?
I was going to point that out there, Nayoka. Joining up with all of our Asian competitors. Really well done by Jaeyun. Probably got some good practice prior to this event coming on in then.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. But I mean, look at the stats, dude. 60% win rate across the board. I like how he alternates between Ghostly League and Pro League. You can see there, he likes to just come back down to Ghostly League and win it. Like whenever he feels like gets second and then winner.
You know, he just came back down, wants to slap everybody, then goes back to where he should be. I love it. Love it, Jaeyun. Well played, sir.
You know, you don't have to qualify for, obviously you don't have to qualify for Pro League if it's just going to through ladder, if you just go into Ghostly League and win it all. So I'm on to you, Jaeyun. Maybe I'll move down to Ghostly League once he's knocked you out. Well, we've got our map ready. Let's get into game one on Butter between Jaeyun and SeriOsity. Wait a minute. Okay, in the top right, it's Jaeyun playing Zerg, dude.
Yes, it is. And in the bottom right, we have SeriOsity, and we have shenanigans already, Nayokin. There goes the probe.
Let's see it. We saw this in the Asian... okay, it's going off to the side, so maybe it's not what I hope it is, which is the cannon rush in the natural. This looks like it could be proxy to gate. Oh, no, here we go. Probe at the net. So let's do it. Get this new Chinese player that I didn't know was actually Chinese. Knock out Jaeyun with the cannon rush. We saw every single game on this map between Protoss and Zerg.
I don't know, Nayokin. He joined that YH clan. He may be used to stuff like this now. Jaeyun might be able to smell it out right away. But he sends the probe into the main?
Okay. I don't know. Well, why would you show yourself? Okay. Maybe he wants to force... okay, he actually comes in at a moment where the drone would be sent out to build the hatch. So actually the intention here is to just force a 12 pool instead of the 12 hatch. But it looks like Jaeyun just flat out doesn't care. He's instead going to put a hatchery at top left. But that's going to mean SeriOsity will be able to get away with 12 Nexus.
Yeah, I was going to say the trade-off here is that he's going to be able to just get this greedier 12 Nex down, continuing to block the natural hatchery. What I would have loved to see is him put a pylon at the third and then go block the natural with that probe and really mess up the first hatchery. I've definitely seen some players do that. Oya is a big fan of doing that on Eclipse when he was playing on that map, where you put a pylon at the third and you go block the nat, and then they have to go take another random base and are extremely delayed. So shenanigans.
I would have loved to see like the camera like zoom in on the drone, because you know the drone there would be like a stutter like on the drone, like what wait, what, that's not supposed to be there, what do I do now? But we didn't get to see that. We do get to see SeriOsity scaling into his mid game already. Gateways halfway. Oh, probe gets taken down, does get off a nice secondary pylon block. But I was going to say, we do see Forge coming in, and Cybernetics is going to come up pretty soon. Look at that hatch. He just flat out doesn't care that there's a pylon there.
Yeah, it tells me he's probably going to get some early aggression in there too, with that hatchery being there. What I like here is SeriOsity taking that gateway first, being able to be a little more greedy knowing the pool is late. This version of the map is going to allow him just to have to block in the middle. The newer version, there is an egg there, so you have to use a 2 Zealot wall, but he'll be able to just wall right there in the middle. There'll be only one gap.
Yeah.
First Lings here, and he's got to be. Oh, he went with the cannon first because sometimes the Protoss like to get greedy and do a core before cannon with this build as well, but not too greedy from SeriOsity.
Yeah, this looks pretty safe. I think he could have even gotten away with cybernetics and just a single Zealot plus probe combo, but as played, this is fine. Now, there we go. There's the cybernetics. This cybernetics, for as fast as his gateway was, seems like it could have been slightly faster, but it's still fine. It's still going to be relatively fine versus the lair timing. I do see another building in Jaeyun's main, though. So is that Hydra Den? There it is.
Yeah, the Hydra Den coming up. Well, scouted right away, so SeriOsity knows what he's up against, so maybe he'll opt to skip Stargate and go for speed legs and just get as many Zealots as he can, especially he had a greedy opener with all the extra mineral he's getting from those probes. What's nice about forcing Zer to take that base far away, not that SeriOsity sent out any Zealots yet, but you can kind of harass multiple spots at once, multiple drone lines. But seeing the Hydra Den may make SeriOsity hold those Zealots home, knowing what he's dealing with. And there it is, Citadel first, because he scouted the Hydra Den. I do like this.
Well, in the main, what's that, his first pylon in the main right now? There's absolutely no area to build anything other than where he built that Citadel. So Overlord doesn't see jack. Now, I'm curious here. As a Protoss player yourself, you see Hydra Den. What are you looking for that tips you off like, okay, I'm getting all in, or okay, I'm not getting all in?
The number one thing I'm taking a peek at is that ling speed. Like, how much gas are we committing to it right away? So that way it kind of tips me off that, hey, there's going to be a lot of Hydra. And then second is just the drone count, right? Like, if you can get it, he doesn't have the Ser. Usually I go with the Stargate, and I want to check to see how many drones am I making versus Hydra. If all those larvae just keep putting out Hydra, you just got to be cannon, man. It's just cannon, 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 cannon. So I think those are the biggest indicators right away that you're getting all in.
Well, I actually think if Jaeyun saw this Citadel, he would all in this. Because look at the Nat. How many cannons can you actually build there? Is that it? Maybe two more to the behind it, and that's it? Like, you really can't build anything there because the cybernetics there, Citadel's there. So I actually want Jaeyun to all in this. We see he's supply blocked, but he's got a lot of larvae banked up. Okay, he is going to build a couple of Hydras there.
So my biggest issue with the going Citadel first is that in builds like this that you're playing against, where it's like 4-hatch Hydra, it's hard to keep up with the production of the amount of Hydra. Like, even getting out a bunch of rounds of Zealots after round of Zealots, you're facing up against so many Hydra. And is he going to be able to get this +1? That would be massive if he got the +1.
Yeah, that would be massive. It's, what, like 20 seconds away? Right. And we know that's a massive power spike for Protoss. He's not able to get it. That was a clutch save. And behind the SeriOsity put down a lot of gates. So even though he lost his main gate, he's got 4 more coming in. 5 coming in.
So we should see him cut probes here, Naokin. He needs to really just focus all of his mineral on Zealots. Like, he needs to make sure his Zealot production is non-stop, continuous out of all of those gateways so that he can match production and kind of get across the map.
Yeah, 6:37 minutes, that's when you're looking to cut. And if there was no high ground here, I would actually love SeriOsity's position. However, he's going to be attacking into high ground, and those Hydras are just going to eat this attack alive. However, Jaeyun has cut a lot of drones here. He is only at 22. Meanwhile, I realize it's still only 38 for Protoss, but Protoss doesn't have a nat gas, so it's basically pure Zealot man. There's like no Templar tech, no real transition. Here comes another attack at the natural.
Yeah, so this is where things get tricky here, Naokin. You're continuously sending out these Zealots in these large groups of Hydra, and they just melt them down. You have no armor, so they'll be able to pick off with good micro, Zealot by Zealot, as they come out. See, like, this is what I was getting a little bit worried about. Now he's going to have 5 Zealot come out at a time, but there are so many Hydra. Can he ever overcome the Hydra count outside of his natural?
He's got 7 gates, so I'm going to say yes, but we see it would only happen simply because Jaeyun's powering right now. He's gone from 22 drones all the way up to 36. He's got his 6th hatchery, or is that the 5th hatchery? Okay, there's the 6th, so 6 hatches coming down. Evolution chamber coming in. Lair just finished. Would like to see Lurker instantly upgraded because he should know that, okay, this guy went Citadel. There's no way he could have this many units without going straight Citadel. Instead, he's going to actually opt into Spire, which I think is also fine.
Yeah, I think either transition is fine here. For Zerg, you can either make that Lurker Contain, which is very strong on this natural here. You can get a really good arc with the Lurkers. But the Muta, there's nothing to hit them, like the Ser to splash on them. So these High Templar become very, very vulnerable as they move across the map. So as long as he gets a good amount early and he can one-shot them, he'll be able to just macro Hydra out and follow up and just crush the Protoss army.
Yep, here comes round 2, and I do see Jaeyun is supply blocked, but he did just build probably a round of Hydras. He's got a couple at his Nat. I'm sure he's got a couple at his third base. Didn't see Sunkens anywhere. Okay, that third base might be a little bit open, but with drone drilling, he should be fine. But remember, this is 7 gates, so even though it is just 10 Zealots and Goon right now, it will swell up to 17, 20 real quickly. You do see the first 4 Templar out on the map.
Yeah, this Muta transition I think is going to be brutal. I think SeriOsity has a timing here where he really needs to be careful. He can't get hit by all these Hydra reinforcements coming in. Really well done from SeriOsity here to be able to push them back, getting those reinforcements across the map right away. But no Templar support yet. No Templar support versus 6 hatcheries. It starts to get a little bit tricky with the numbers here. He's going to need some of that AoE. Oh, and first round of Muta now too.
Yeah, you can't match this production, and also remember, SeriOsity had to rebuild his forge, so +1 armor not done yet. He's actually done a good job to start it up with his backup forge. It's about halfway done. We saw range coming in, robotics about done, so he's going to have his observers up pretty soon, but unbeknownst to him, actually, the tech switch is going to be Mutas.
Yeah, very difficult to deal with when you have no Stargate. I know. Saw the games before, that's why I used the Dark Archon before. You'll see a lot of pros use that as well when they need it. They'll just get the Dark Archon to kind of fight out those Muta, because if you don't, it is so hard against good Muta Micro to be able to kill those Muta.
Yeah, it's literally impossible unless you just have an overwhelming amount of goons, which he could have, but that means that you're going to leave like 1 million goons in your main. So we do see the DT didn't get really any damage done. Muta switch is not really that threatening right now. It's only at 5. I think, what is it? You need 9 to one-shot a Templar? I can't remember exactly the number.
Yeah, 9 one-shot a Templar.
So
I think he's going to be just powering on 8 gate for a little while. Usually you power 8 gate, and then at 13-minute mark, you want to try to take a double expand. That way you kind of gain map control. Once you gain map control, you can kind of just shift in between base to base and kind of hold the Zerg back with your pressure. I think that's what we're going to see here from SeriOsity. I think he's at 40 probes. I'd like to see him get a couple more. I think 43 is optimal. Not a big deal, but it will matter once he takes that double expand that he has to start that probe production again to be able to saturate all those bases.
Well, we see just a slight supply lead for SeriOsity, and generally that makes me very worried for Zerg. Or very worried for Protoss, actually. We do see that the Muta count is at a high enough number now where he can one-shot those Templars, so SeriOsity needs to be really on top of it. But instead, the Mutas are hooking... Okay, they are hooking back to the middle, so they are looking for those Templars. They are in the back, have not gotten spotted just yet, but he's in real trouble. That's pretty good storms, actually. Does a lot of damage. He's going to lose all of his Templars, but that's about as good as it could have possibly gone.
Yeah, that was the best it could be. He took out almost all the Mutas, so at least he'll be able to reinforce with more Templar. He does need to consider backing up here, though, right? We know he has the high ground. He can have the Hydra fight up there. It's just not worth it. You need the AoE. He should back up, get a couple more High Templar out, and then reinforce with this army.
Ooh.
Here we go. Jaeyun is moving up this ramp. SeriOsity is going to hold it. Best engagement spot he probably can get, but we see some Zealots peeling off here.
Yeah, SeriOsity, this is your time to shine right here. Jaeyun attacking uphill. Now he's going to engage. There's still a lot of Zealots. That's a Templar with full energy. If somehow this attack gets allows the Templar to get into position like that, there's a great storm. It's so many. And supplies still just slightly in SeriOsity's favor, but he kept the majority of the goons alive.
And that was really well done. That Templar comes in and he is a hero, be able to get those storms off right away. We do see that Jaeyun has transitioned to his 4th base. I'd love to see SeriOsity also put down a 4th base of his own. He has map presence. he can really hold Jaeyun down that on the bottom of those ramps and just keep his army moving. But well done from him to be able to overcome all those Templar being sniped.
Yeah, I think if SeriOsity had been building probes this whole time, fourth base could be a good move. But because he's just cut at 40 for really the past 6 or 7 minutes, I think it would be a bit much to put down the fourth Nexus. We see his third base is up and running. He took mid-right. I think that's a fantastic base to take. You've got double ramp there. It's going to be really hard to engage. You plop like 2 Zealots in a single Templar with cannon support. All of a sudden, it's impenetrable. We see SeriOsity trying to attack the fourth base, but this base is also going to be really hard to bust. However, I did notice that the Lurker aspect upgrade is like only halfway done right now, so there's a decent amount of Hydras, but no Lurker support.
Yeah, this is a big window here for SeriOsity. If he can kind of get his army into a good spot and find a good angle to attack, maybe not that base up the ramp, but maybe even the natural or the third, he might be able to get some serious damage done. Because there are no Lurker support, and just Hydras alone are not going to be enough to hold this army back.
He's hooking around for the Nat. If he goes for an attack of the Nat, I think he could win the fight, but this small Hydra army is drawing his attention to the south. He's going to lose both of his Zealots, potentially his Templar too, so that's actually a big loss for him. A couple of Goons are going to die in the middle of the map, and he loses a Templar at the top side. There's chaos everywhere.
I feel butter leads to this. There's so many pathways to so many different bases that army can get really pulled all over. You got to make sure when you're clicking, you're kind of in that box, moving along, trying to get your army to stay as one big unit, because units start to peel all over the place, as we just saw with SeriOsity. And a lot of times that does not favor Protoss, because those High Templar are the ones that are dragging along in the back.
Yeah, and if you lose those Templars, I mean, you basically don't have any AoE Reavers, late game tech. And we do see finally Jaeyun's the one to take supply lead. He's got a drone lead also, so mega econ for him. Protoss is about to mine out in their main. Natural, his probe count has kind of been low there, so the natural is still kind of decent for now, but SeriOsity needs to start thinking about taking another base pretty soon. I guess the one saving grace, nope, never mind, take that back. I was going to say there's no hive, but it is halfway done, and this is like, what, 8 hatch production, 9 hatch production from Jaeyun?
This is where the game gets really dangerous, Nayukin, especially with Zerg being on that 60-plus drone mark. Their economy is just booming, and they can use all of those 8-9 hatcheries right away. And, definitely gets more and more difficult for Protoss. It's almost gets to the point where you kind of got to sit and just start taking bases and almost look to split the map, because if you get too far behind in supply, you take a bad fight, it is just game over. Zerg will run you down.
Yeah, that is so true. And if that's a Nexus at mid-right, oh my god, has he lost his mind? I think this is a very contested base, but it's so far towards Zerg that this could be a mistake. But the more I'm looking at it, I mean, look at the angle of attack Zerg has. If they come down that ramp, they can get stormed to death. If they come across the bridge, get stormed to death. So maybe this is a safer position than I thought. However, I feel like you gotta leave a lot of units here to do that. And it kind of opens up your natural. Jaeyun's going to spot this base and think, what the heck, man, you're taking this one? That would be what I'm thinking, but it's actually a stronger position than I thought.
Not my favorite expanding towards the Zerg there, but he might be able to hold it, like you said, with those ramps. If he can get a robotics down here and get a couple Reavers, leave a couple Templar behind, he can tread really effectively. And if Zerg overcommits, he can go around the other side of the map and hit some bases. Oh, I don't know how this is going to go. Going across this ramp into Lurkers, though, not a good look. I'm glad that he's backing up and deciding to come back here.
Oh, that was a whiff! And he loses 3 Templars to just a handful of Hydras, and he storms some of his own units. He does have a 4th base now, though, so that's great for him, but still, it's just 50 probes. I mean, it's still okay. Would like to see a little bit better eco, but yeah, the Hive tech is just now kicking in. Luckily, the upgrades have kicked in for Protoss, but no +3 upgrades, and we know Zerg, wow, Zerg's already at 2-2 also with triple Evo.
Yeah, and this is going to get more and more difficult as that Hive tech comes out, that Defiler tech coming in. When you don't have Reavers, it's tough, so I'd like to see SeriOsity start to kind of get to that late game tech with shuttles, speed shuttles, dropping, hitting drone lines, anything that can really kind of slow the Zerg tempo down a bit.
This isn't even a big attack from Zerg, but it's trading so cost effectively. There's Lurkers, there's Lings, heavily upgraded. They're also attacking up a ramp. So Jaeyun trading very, very well there. Still 160 supply for him. versus just 140. I do know SeriOsity has something like 10 gates, but this is my problem, is you saw how much he had to send to the middle of the map, and all of his units are out of position. And this is exactly what I knew was going to happen. Jaeyun instantly attacks mid-right.
Counterattack, of course. He knows the army's not there. Why not go in? I don't know if he has enough here to hold this. It's going to be... Nope, he's going to have enough. But the army is making a counter here into this lurker field.
Well, this is probably going to be it. Like, SeriOsity is going to lose mid-right or lose a lot of probes at least. And we have a counterattack in the center of the map. There's not that many lurkers. The problem is that there's just so many hatches. So this low lurker count is going to turn into a large lurker count pretty soon, comboed with Lings. And this is only goons, only Templars. And I think that this army is about to just get swallowed up.
Lings, just that transition later, once they get cracked and they start getting on top of the Dragoons, so the goons just melt. They just melt away. Even, you know, with the storm, you're just going to see a flood. And on 8, 9, 10 hatcheries, whatever Jaeyun is up to now, he is just going to keep macroing and sending those units. It's going to be the never-ending swarm line across the map.
Yeah, and if he gets out on a Dark Swarm, these goons all of a sudden just can't even do any damage to anything. We do see that the 4th base, it is 100% dead. Crackling, kicking in. There it is. GG! And SeriOsity, he's going to tap out.
Yeah, I think that 4th base choice might have been something that was a little bit unscripted for him. I think it would have been better to kind of take the base away from Zerg, so at least he could have kind of bounced in between the 3, kind of plant your army outside the net and go both ways. And as we get to late game with the Mass Ling, you need those Reaver Tech, you need that splash. It's just to hold those bases.
Yeah, I think SeriOsity did fine. Like, his mid game was fine, early game was fine. Just the macro kicked in from Jaeyun. And as you said, the 4th base, ambitious, to say the least. The one thing I would like to see SeriOsity change was his cut of probes at 40, that was good. But then after that, he didn't build any probes. The econ was lacking after that. Meanwhile, we know Jaeyun cut at 22, but then it ramped up to 60 real damn fast. And then he just simply overpowered him. So I think if SeriOsity watches a replay, he'll probably think, oh, okay, maybe I cut a little bit too long. Need to up the econ a little bit, and maybe I could take that game. It's going to be his map pick this time. We know that we hate Gladiator, you and I. But what maps are you liking this season for Protoss, especially PvC? Oh, we get Gladiator! Oh, no. So he's gonna give us a lesson.
This was not it, Nayoga. This was not going to be my go-to map here for PvZ this season. But hey, maybe he likes it. Maybe he's got a good strategy. Maybe he's got a plan. Maybe he's going to go 10-12. You never know. 10-12 worked out for me. Maybe it's going to work out for him. Kind of mix it up.
That could be the case. He saw all the Asian Championship games. Maybe he's going to pull out a J-Star here, 2-gate at his net. Let's find out. Get into game 2 of our series. Jaeyun versus SeriOsity. All right, in the top left, up 1-0. It is Jaeyun.
And in the bottom right, it's our red Protoss. It is SeriOsity.
Ooh.
Nyokin, I don't know, maybe 9-9 in the middle. 9-9 in the middle. Yep. Here we go.
I think that's going to be the case because, I mean, even I know, as I'm not even a Protoss player, even I know that Gladiator's a tough map for Protoss versus Zerg. I'm kind of getting the same feelings as I had versus Mars earlier when I played him, when he picked Overwatch. As soon as he picked that map, I'm like, dude, you picked Sylphid in our previous series. Now you're picking a map that we haven't played in a while. It's 2 players. You have to be up to something. Like, you just gotta be. So if I was Jaeyun here, whatever the counter is to 2-gate, that's what I'd be doing. So what do you hate to face if you're 2-gating? I know you probably don't do this often, but if you were doing it, what do you hate to play versus?
9 full speed is always treacherous when you play against this. Not that I think Jaeyun will use that, but I'll be honest, the hatch first builds can be very tough because there's more larva. I honestly would rather see an overpool because there's less larva. As long as I micro my zealots effectively, I could easily pull out a win with this. So I would like to see a hatch first so that he can... Yep, 12 hatch here. He'll be able to get those zealots together up there. Maybe send 2 probes and just break down this hatchery because you know it. You start hitting those creep colonies when they go down. You get them down low enough, they don't even morph. So as long as you're microing well and trading effectively and you can hit a couple with 1 zealot on and a probe and use the other zealots to fight the Lings, they never get them up.
Yeah, well, back in the olden days, and when I say olden, I mean real olden days, back when Fake Dan was actually Young Dan. We used to see this build all the time, combo with 3 probes, a lot of DPS, just like what J-Star was doing. So I hope SeriOsity does do that. What makes this map even harder than other maps, like Fighting Spirit, for example, is that ramp. This is an inverted ramp. If Protoss gets onto the high ground, you are never ever trading effectively. Like, this Nat is 100% dead if he ever gets two zealots into position.
With this Nayukun, if you're going to do this and you're going to go all in, I would have loved to see him put a pylon by the hatchery. It cuts some surface area out for the crib colonies, and you can put down a shield battery to support your zealots.
Yep.
Because there's no coming back from this, right? Like, this is do or die.
There you go.
Yep, there we go. Put it down. I would love to see him put it right next to the hatchery so that he couldn't build a creep there.
Yeah, he might be using the battery for the placement here, but this is why it's so tough. Look at this. Hatch pops. 3 zealots are here. Like I said, though, 3 probes with this army is way stronger than just 1 probe, but this is still going to be super hard to deal with. First 3 zealots are already here. I like how... Oh, actually, Jaeyun only built 4 lings this time. This was really good drilling. Lings get on top of the zealots. Drones in the back is dealing a lot of damage. One of the zealots almost gone, but look how fast these drones are dying. Battery almost died.
Oh, we got the second zealot. That's huge. Oh my! He needs to use the battery. Use the battery.
He didn't use the battery. Like you said, maybe put the pylon on a little bit faster. He could have gotten the battery up and running. Now almost all of the zealots are gone. That one's heavily damaged. He still hasn't used the battery at all. There's no probe support versus 2 hatchling production.
Oh, unfavorable trade here though for Jaeyun. They attacked the pylon, so he's able to get some. He uses the battery. Another good little micro there. Get zergling after zergling. Use the battery again. Oh, go between the pylon and the shield battery. Lower surface area.
I think that this is it. We can see that SeriOsity behind this, not transitioning at all, not building any more probes. Oh my god, great drone drill right there, bugging out the AI. Now this pylon's gone, it doesn't matter. GG comes out, and Jaeyun takes 2-0.
Oh man, it was set up for SeriOsity perfectly. You know, he could have got there, he put the pylon down. I think you're right, Naokin. If you could have brought the 2 probes, it helps you just start 2-shotting the lings with the zealots, and you can bust it through. But I gotta give Jaeyun credit. That drone drill was incredible. Able to bug out 2 of the zealots and isolate the other 3rd one. So, well played by him.
Yeah, actually amazing defense from Jaeyun. Oh, I'm so sad about that battery because it completed right when the zealot died. I was like, no, come on, there's got to be some luck on Protoss' side, but not today, and SeriOsity is going to fall, and that means we've got the dream winners match right here. It's Hawk versus Jaeyun. You know these players play versus each other quite often. If you ever check Jaeyun's stream, almost every single time you tune in, he's messaging Hawk, go, you won't, but they end up having epic games whenever I see them play. We are going to go into a break, and then we'll be coming back with, I think, Exit versus SeriOsity. So that should be an exciting TVP when we get back. are back, guys. We just saw Jaeyun take down SeriOsity. Game on Butter was pretty good. SeriOsity, I think, had build order win on Gladiator, but the micro, insane from Jaeyun, takes the second map and the series. Now we're going into the elimination match, which is going to be Exit versus SeriOsity. Exit, I think he had a good build order versus Hawk in the second game, but the multitask, just hard to keep up with. Meanwhile, SeriOsity looked pretty decent versus Jaeyun. I think this is going to be a much closer series than we had earlier, though, like Exit versus Hawk, for example.
Yeah, for sure. I think this will be much, much closer. I've played with Exit a couple times, and I know that he likes those 5-6 back timings off 2 bases. So we'll see if that's the style he uses, or if not, he does the 2-fac, 3-tank, move out, and then into the 5 or 6-fac. So we'll see if he's going to be sticking with that, and we'll see. I haven't played much with SeriOsity versus Pros. Last time I played him, he played Zerg. So we'll see what he does for the PBT here.
Yeah, I haven't played SeriOsity in a really long time. I'm trying to think back to what I remember about him. For some reason, Reaver Harass into just standard play is what's coming to mind. So if Exit goes for a 5 or a 6-fact, he may have a bit of trouble because Reavers, of course, shut down most timings unless you're Mihu. Somehow Mihu's able to 4-fact to victory every single game. But based on what you're telling me, and based on that clan tag that I see, Naz, you know that this guy's probably watched a lot of Terror games, and Terror's known for his 1-fact starport and then follow up into 5-fact. So it should be a really strong timing that Exit has planned.
Yeah, and I think the map advantage goes to Terran a little bit here. So, but we'll see how we do. I think we're ready for the game, so let's get into it.
All right, in the bottom left, our Terran player, it is Exit.
And in mid-right is our Protoss, SeriOsity. So now, when I think of this map, PBT, one of the things that always comes to mind is taking fights. I feel like the pathing is so hard in between all the bases to get a really good arc and engage on these Terran armies when it gets to later in the game.
Yeah, there's not a big arc like you said. What stands out to me the most is the fact if you're ever out of position, whatever base is getting attacked, you're probably just going to lose that base. Because let's say, for example, Terran does like a massive attack to Protoss, but Protoss is at top left, for example. Well, you can almost guarantee that either bottom right, third base, or Nat is going to die because Protoss is just so far away. So that's another thing to keep in mind. You know, Terran has scan. If he ever gets a god scan and sees exactly where the army is completely out of position, Protoss could be very vulnerable. But at the same time, if Terran makes a move to top left, Protoss has a concentrated attack on the bottom side of the map. Terran also has to be careful. Now look at this. Is SeriOsity going for the fated 12 Nexus? No, there's a gateway.
I would say 12 Nexus can be a little risky. The rush distance on this map, not that far, so definitely vulnerable early game. So it's good to see that he's opted for a gateway.
All right, let me get your opinion here. Carrier or Arbiter map? What do you think?
I think more of an Arbiter map. It's just harder to fly the carriers around. Fight. Like you're fighting around the edges. There's not a lot of island space other than the middle. I think it's hard to get in the base. I think a lot of good space for recall and fights. And stasises can be massive in these small little chokes.
Yeah, everything is choked up. You could definitely get stasis, and it could be the dream stasis where you get like 5 tanks for sure. As you can see, mains are completely open at bottom left, mid right too. So recall is obviously very dangerous. Looking at build orders, I think SeriOsity built a Zealot. Yep, there it is. So we're gonna have some Zealot pressure, but we've already got a pretty slick SimCity from Exit at the entrance.
Yeah, Zealot first. I like that. Put a little pressure on. Definitely something I know I prefer in PvT to get that early Zealot out. It helps sometimes with a bunch of shenanigans that Terran could do, but also allows you to pressure. So if they're kind of greedy or try to go something crazy, CC first or Rax at the natural, you can kind of put some pressure onto them pretty quickly.
We do see instant Dragoon follow-up. I'm paying close attention to that gas, and he just spent 100 gas, so that means that this is fake. This is a fake. Oh, the mind games are real. Now, Exit has to keep this in mind, but at the same time, he's getting attacked by a Zealot, so I don't know how well. He's going to be aware of this. We do see that a pylon is missing. It's at the corner of the base. Is there a probe anywhere on the map? The answer is no.
Okay, Zell coming up here, getting on those Marines right away. That's good. Decent micro. I like to see him use the SimCity. One Marine goes down. Let's see if he can get on this SCV. Nope, the factory is going to complete.
Ooh, good control right there from... Oh, that Zealot just did not want to fight at all. He's like, no thank you, sir. I was going to walk over here. And actually, that's a big deal, because if he had taken down one more Marine, I think this Goon, maybe it doesn't win the game, but it does crippling amounts of damage. Still, one Goon can beat 2 heavily damaged Marines, so he's got to be careful. That's going to be a Marine getting 3-shotted, then the next one will get 3-shotted. SeriOsity should know that he can win this fight. Oh, he actually targeted the one in the back by accident, and this bunker is... It is going to complete, but he actually gets the Goon. I can't believe it.
Wow. And that cancel on the range went to, or cancel the +1 air went to a faster Nexus. I was surprised. I thought we might see a Citadel or fast Robo go down, but he decided just to play it out standard because the SCV did leave.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen anybody fake range to get a faster Nexus, but ends up working out. He's going to have his Nexus basically done by the time his command center is done. And look at this. Are you seeing what I'm seeing? Is this Siege Expand? It is.
Siege Expand.
Oh, Siga Marine didn't like him. You can see that he got supply block, so that's why he did that. He wanted to get out in either an extra tank or an extra SCV.
Exit must be watching the real Dan stream, because I know I've seen that once or twice.
Oh, yeah.
Kill your own Marine to get SCV.
I do that all the time. You know that it's a real Dan stream because we're killing Marines off, around 26-34 supply, not at 44, which is the doomsday block for every Terran player. Literally nobody can avoid it. Sometimes you can't even avoid 52. It's just unavoidable somehow for all Terrans. We've got eBay follow-up. This is very normal. You don't want to get caught by DT like we are seeing.
Wow, I'm surprised they decided to drop down the archives with the second gas here. Maybe it's just going to transition to a really fast Arbiter. I feel like when you take that early Nexus, you kind of at times want to push that lead and maybe just go for a Robo Observer and take a third base right away, especially knowing that it's Siege Expand. But he's opted for something a little bit different here. Maybe some timing just with the DT.
Yeah, it could be, but turret's already set up, going to be in position, and I was thinking that it was also going to be a Stargate also because he's got this fast gas, but instead, remember, he's got range too, so that's a lot of gas to be spending, and he's instead just going to go into third Nexus at top left. Meanwhile, second factory coming down, turret ring being set up. We may see that 5-fact follow-up, but nothing really is making me believe anything other than... I'm starting to think that this could just be upgrade Terran, because I feel like if you're going to build factories, you need to start building them, right around this moment. There it is. There's the armory.
Yeah, he's proven me wrong. He's going to just try to maybe push out slowly, take that third base, get some units, drag into a longer game, which I think is a good strategy for this map for sure. Force Protoss to attack, force Protoss to get around, drag the game out. I'm actually surprised that SeriOsity's only up. Oh, we're going in. We're going for the turret. No. Oh, the turret goes down.
The Heartbreaker. Every Terran hates that move. He's going to lose both of his tanks. No turret set up near the ramp, so actually the DTs could run into the main, and they realize that, so they're going to come in. Tank is going to fall again. He's going into siege mode, dude. He might splash his own SCVs because of this turret and because of those tanks. That's a bunch of SCVs falling. DT still hasn't gotten knocked down yet, though. Forcing out so many turrets is painful for Terran.
Wow, Nuke, and I did not expect that. I didn't expect him just to dive in on that turret, but it works out. He's able to take down a ton of tanks. I mean, that alone is worth it, but he gets all those workers as well. Definitely a really good trade here for Protoss.
Yeah, amazing trade for Protoss. If I was in this game, I would instantly click that alliance button. Think to myself, like, wait a minute, this isn't Ghosted Arc, this isn't G-Dizzle. Did SeriOsity just jump on my turret like that? And the answer is yes, he did. He pulled out he channeled his inner Ghosted Arc, and now, honestly, Raz, Protoss can do anything, right? Like, there's nothing here, there's no move that they could make that's wrong, right? Like, they could go Arbiter, they could Gateway Man, they could Carrier Man, like, what's one way that Protoss could blow it?
I think only just not following up with gateways and making units here. Like, that'd be the only way. Maybe, like, taking a triple expand, because at this point, you know that Terran can't move across the map. He lost his barracks, so he can't make more factories. He's stuck on what production he has, and you reset the tank count. Anything can go here. Anything is allowed from this point on. And we see that he's just going into even heavier tech. So I'm not sure that unless Exit drags this out to a really long game and SeriOsity makes a bad 1A, 2A, 3A, 8 Protoss move, I think that he is in a very, very good spot.
Yeah, honestly, the only way I can see this not being a SeriOsity win is if a recall gets in and somehow Exit has the perfect mine position, the recall gets blown up by mines, and then Exit just goes for a split map, tries to stabilize the game. I've talked about this multiple times. Whenever you're in a dominating position like this, take bases that Terran wants. So what base would Terran want here? Well, they definitely want bottom middle. It's a decently close base, or they want top left. I would love to see SeriOsity as a fourth base take either of those, because Terran can't move out. He flat out can't. He's just taken so much damage. There's no way he could do anything to deny it. So would love to see that. We don't see SeriOsity sending a probe to top left, but that's going to be towards the main, I think.
Yeah, and I think it's okay to take another main here and get some more gateways up, get your infrastructure up. But I think you're right. I think taking bases that they want, mining out the map, is definitely way better than just kind of taking a random base. And we do see a drop here from Exit, and I think this is always a good way for Terran to get back in the game, right? Start dropping on bases that are a little bit vulnerable, getting probe kills. But we do see that SeriOsity does have a cannon at his third, but nothing in the main, so maybe he can start getting some probe kills right away. And Exit's taking his third. I get a little worried about that with how many gateways are there. We'll see if he can push out to hold it. But I'm assuming that SeriOsity is going to look for some kind of bust timing here with Speed Zealots and a Stasis. He knows he's way far ahead. He has a lot of gateways, a lot of production, so I would be thinking that right now myself.
Yep, here comes that drop, and third base I know has that cannon, so shouldn't get anything done. Did he scan the natural? Well, SeriOsity's moving out, and this is an open mineral line, so he could rack up some probe kills. This is one way you can get back as Terran. It's a small commitment for him. Meanwhile, he's building his command center behind it. He's got his 5th, 6th factory coming up. I mean, supplies are, definitely behind for Terran, but there is a world where he could win a fight, 80 supply versus just 120.
Yeah, this is difficult. This map lends itself to this kind of stuff where you're kind of moving your army in and out of your base. SeriOsity just needs to drop a couple more cannons, and he'll be able to hold these small drops. One thing I think he's got to be careful of is making sure that he doesn't lose his vultures and doesn't keep picking more up. Because you and I both know if you start moving all your vultures all over the map, you start to become more and more vulnerable when you're on this low unit count here, especially this tank count.
Yeah, some players will just simply think to themselves, oh, you just don't have vultures? Okay, I'm just going to attack you. And I don't know about this boxer micro. It's trying to kill a cannon. The cannons are so strong.
The dropship barely gets out with its life. Oh, we see a couple of goons have gone down. But I think we see SeriOsity starting to position himself to the top side of the map so he can get a better surface area as he attacks into this third.
Yep, now Exit needs to start walling off top left like he's doing at the bottom side. That would obviously limit the surface area, which is already kind of limited. Oh, dropship gets intercepted and it had a tank in it, so that hurt.
Oh, no, okay, that hurts for sure. You're only on 7 tanks. You lose one more, not good news for you. And here we go. He's coming in. Does he have a stasis?
I think he should by now. This is actually not a lot of units from SeriOsity. He's got 150 supply, but I'm thinking, okay, where's the actual stuff? Only 2 tanks die. This command center I don't think will fall if Exit repositions his tanks. So he's going to have to evacuate for now. But I think this was a fine hold from him. However, the reason there's no stasis is because that bad boy's looping around to an open main.
Oh no, here we go. Here we go. Oh, is the upgrade complete? Yep.
I think it is
Should
complete.
be. I think we're going to recall that giant amount of zealots there. Jaeyun with that other arbiter, and maybe we'll see that recall with another stasis on the ramp to not let the units back in.
Don't say that to me, Raz. That's gonna make me vomit. I don't want to see a stasis SCV on the ramp or tank. Okay, here he comes. There's nothing. No turrets, no mines, no anything.
Right onto the armory. I love that. And here's the other arbiter.
Oh, look at him. He's doing exactly what you said. He's moving the arbiter up there into position. He's waiting for some unsuspecting fool. There it is. There's the stasis. And that means there's not going to be very many units able to get back.
Oh, we see. Will he drill the SCVs to push some of those vultures out of the way so he can kind of get up the ramp? I'm not sure he'll be able to, but I think we lost that armory before the next upgrade hit. Oh, that's... Oh, no, 2-1. No, maybe not. I think he was able to get there.
Oh, wow. He was able to get it. So +2 already completed. So he does have the powerful +2 power spike. I got to say, even though Exit is taking an insane amount of damage, he instantly rebuilt depots. That's something that a lot of Terran players don't think about. Like, you're going to instantly lose depots and not be able to produce any units. So that was fantastically done. However, there's just so much Protoss here. He's going to eliminate all the Zealots faster than I thought. He's going to lose the Science Facility. That means +3 can't start.
No. This is where it gets really tricky now, because behind this, you know that SeriOsity is just powering up. He's on that 70 probe count, taking a 5th base and just macroing. This is a lot of damage here from SeriOsity. Doing a great job.
Yeah, and unlike in the Jaeyun game, SeriOsity's got a good probe count. He's got 70 probes. Exit's got pretty darn good SCV count for everything that's unfolded. He's sitting at 51. The problem for him is he's down 80 supply. He has good upgrades, but he's got no science facility. He's got no vessel. So that means that the arbiters are going to continue to run rampant. He's still trying to stabilize his main, still trying to get supply depots up so he can actually produce units. Meanwhile, SeriOsity not going to give him any room to breathe. A massive attack coming through the bottom side of the map.
Yeah, he even lost the starport, so he won't even be able to start the science facility. And here we go. We see the Protoss units just coming on in right here. Vultures are a little bit out of position up top. Arbiter goes down before he can get a stasis off. But I just think there's just too much Protoss Nauk, and I think there's just so many units coming in here.
Yeah, there's just too much Protoss, and the whole time Exit was supply blocked, so he couldn't produce anything. There's the GG, and SeriOsity, he's going to go up 1-0.
Yeah, you know, first I was like, wow, archives, what are we doing here? We took a quick Nexus, like, let's use that advantage. But you're right, he decided he was going to channel his inner Goes Too Dark and just send those 5 goons in and snipe that turret and send those DT in, baby. Just get him in there.
That, I think, is the worst way to lose. Because as Terran, you feel like, I had it. I had tanks set up, I had bunkers set up, I had turrets set up, and the guy still got in. Like, I can't, like, why did I even build turrets if he's still going to get in, right? That's what a lot of Terrans are thinking. I mean, they're thinking other things, thinking, like, I want to kill this guy. I want to rip his head off for playing like that. But yeah, Exit, he had a good opener. I just, unfortunately, slow on the gun, I guess, with the SCVs, and SeriOsity steals, or not necessarily steals, because he turned it into a nice win. But now, Exit, he's got to win here. Otherwise, he's out.
So if you're on your last life, on your last leg here, Naokin, TVP, what is your go-to map for this map pool?
As I was telling you, my favorite map of all time, Gladiator, man.
Gladiator?
I'm hoping, yeah, man. Gladiator. Let's see Gladiator. You know, it's not like SeriOsity just picked it. I want to see Gladiator. No, and in all serious, I think we need to see Vermeer. It's Polypoid-esque. Don't give 2-player map. Don't give him butter. Okay, or Sylphid. That's also fine. This is a... You know he's played this map tons of times. It was a ladder map. A lot of Terran players like it. So I think this is a great map pick for Exit. Let's get into Game 2. See if Exit can do it and tie up the series 1-1. Okay, in the mid left, he needs your energy, chat. Otherwise, he might be out. It is Exit.
And in the mid right, up 1-0, looking to get a decider match, move to the next round. It is SeriOsity.
All right. Well, I've had conflicting opinions on this map. You think this is a good Protoss map, or are you on the hype train that this is a good Terran map?
I'm on the hype train that it's a good Terran map. I think it's very hard to siege that third gas, even though there's a low mineral count at the third. Can be very hard to attack into, and I think you can get split very easily. And Terran kind of just move around. Also, I think not a big carrier map again, Nayuk. I think you're kind of stuck a little bit at times with those arbiters in the way this map is built. But doable. We saw a couple seasons ago in ASL these 2 base carrier builds on this map, but I think it can be very difficult.
Well, I'm getting a bit nervous for Exit already because we're putting a depot in a wall position. Well, I mean, I wall almost every single time. However, this particular position on Sylphid, like a lot of times, at least Terran versus Zerg, you see racks and then double depot. I guess he also did wall on Monopoly, or sort of semi-wall, so I take that back. This does look like just a normal-ish racks depot placement. I was saying that simply because for some reason I was getting some Artosis 2-fact vibes, and I am not the big fan of 2-fact. I didn't want to see it.
But it's not a bad map for it. It is short distances from base to base, so could be good here. I'm not sure if that's what you want to put your tournament life on, to the 2-fact, put your hope, but
yeah.
but you know, they might want to decide it. Could have saw BBS here as well, Nayuka. There was space in the middle. He could have really went for it there.
Now that I do know, that you can build in the center of the map on Sylphid. We do see that this is a normal opener from SeriOsity. Okay, there is the Zealot actually. And we do see that, unluckily, Exit is going to last scout. So he's not going to get intel on this Zealot. So he's going to need to make sure that he does not cut any Marines here. And there is a depot on the left side. However, this is not Zealot tight. So if Exit goes into this thinking like, oh, I don't have to build any Marines after this, actually he's just outright dead.
Yeah, definitely not going to be a good look, but we do see him building more Marines. I did notice in SeriOsity's base, I believe he only has 2 on gas right now, and he's down to 1, so we're probably going to see another fast Nexus play again, and he has the +1 spinning to trick Exit again, thinking some random pressure, but we know he's going to cancel it. We'll see if he still goes with the same thing. See, I think it's interesting, if Exit got higher up into the base, I feel like seeing 1 probe on gas at the time would trigger him to think a little bit like it. But we cancel it.
This is so weird. He canceled it to get range and then puts down a second gate. I have to say, I don't think I've ever... Oh, is that going to be a third gate? 3? Okay.
Nope.
This is still just 2 gate, but look at this. SeriOsity thinks that this is like an FD or a 2-fact because of the depot racks placement. Like I said, it's kind of weirdish. It is similar to what we saw on Monopoly, so it's not too weird simply because of what I just saw from Exit on that map. But I guess Protoss, it does worry Protoss a little bit, and you can see that it was actually 4 Marines built. So SeriOsity just playing safe, making sure that if this is FD, I want to be ready for it.
Yeah, especially if you're practicing a lot and playing a lot of ladder games. Anytime you see this Terran wall these days, usually 9 times out of 10 it is a 2-fact type of build. So maybe SeriOsity saw that. He's been so trained to say, all right, here it comes. But hopefully he'll send this goon in to check and see that there is a command center behind this that he can just put down a Nexus. Because if you start cutting probes and you just keep making Dragoons, you definitely get yourself further and further behind if you don't do damage. Ooh, sneaky,
Whoa.
Sneaky! Oh, he sneezed it.
Wow, okay, Exit gets in and sees that this is 4 goons, so he should know that this is just, I mean, it's weird, but this is just 2 gate, maybe Robo. That's kind of what I would be thinking, is that maybe this guy's going 2 gate Robo and trying elevator in my main. But based on last game where he's just suiciding for a turret, I would also be worried about that again. However, Exit, he did spot it. He needs to get siege mode ASAP. He needs to pull some SCVs also. Oh no, his siege is kind of far away. Luckily for him, he does have a full bunker for Marines. So that's going to be a lot of DPS if SeriOsity just try and jump on it. And look at this. SeriOsity transitions that scouted 2 gate into a typical Protoss move. Typical, I say. Third Nexus.
I can't say I don't like it. I think, definitely strong if you have all those units early and you can kind of hold on, especially if it's going to be siege expand. And not that he knows that right now, but, can he really move out right away? Oh my goodness, Naokin. Is SeriOsity freaking out thinking that it's DT again?
Hey, I mean, he pops the turret and he instantly forces out another turret. Exit is on full-on panic mode. But was that worth? Okay, here's the big brain move, right? Is SeriOsity is actually taking a third Nexus, but Exit thinks it's DT, so he's playing extra cautious, probably going to force an Academy, and none of that helps him to get actual units on the map to pressure. So even though it looked like not the smartest move to focus down the turret, I think this is actually a genius move from Serious. Look at this, he even canceled a building at the bottom to build that Academy.
Yes, he does think it's DT, so maybe SeriOsity really playing with the high IQ here. He's just giving trick plays for days. Canceling +1 air to get range into 2 gate and then sniping a turret so that he builds the Academy. I like it. I like where he's operating.
What I like is how SeriOsity's building no units afterwards. I think that's the first unit that popped out right there. 1 goon. But that's not even a goon. Look at this. He built 5 goons. A zealot snipes your turret, loses a goon, but he knows that turns in pure panic mode and isn't building anything after that. It's just pure probes after that with a third Nexus.
Yeah, even despite his second Nexus being so late, he's now ahead on workers again. Like, he's been just non-stop pumping these probes, making sure they just get down one right after the other.
Yeah, this is one of those games where if you watch the replay, you're just insanely tilted as Terran, because there's nothing you can do really to figure out what this is unless you had an SCV already out in the map. Look what Exit's done. He's built 5 turrets. He already lost 1, so he's built 6. He's going into Armory because he feels like there's no timing anymore. Armory's fine, I have to say, but this was just a complete mind game from SeriOsity, playing out perfectly. He's up 10 workers. Absolutely fantastic.
Yep, and here he is gotten the Robotech up. He's got 4 gateways. He's getting all of his infrastructure going. I'm sure he'll be adding a Citadel soon and getting into either Arbiter Tech or just to Gateway Man. I think either can work here. As Terran pushes out, there's a point where you can bust them before they take the third as they move onto that little high ground on the third. So we'll see what route he decides to go. And he's going to get the Observer in despite all of those turrets, Naokin. And he's going to be able to see exactly what's going on in exit space.
Yeah, Terran's thinking, just kill me now. Just actually kill me now. You didn't go DT. You got an Observer in my base, even though I have 8 million turrets. I still don't know what you're doing. Okay, actually, Exit did scan. We see he's used up some of his energy. But I don't know if he scanned the third base. He may have scanned thinking that, okay, Protoss is all in. It's all 4 gate. Maybe this guy's gateway manning me. But that's not the case. We do see SeriOsity's at 49 probes. I'd like to see 2 more cycles out of all the Nexus. That puts us at 55 probes. That's just fine on 3 bases, and then we can just pure gateway man this guy. There's the first scan. He needs to click those mineral patches, though, because right now he doesn't know whether it just finished or if he's been mining there for a while.
This is going to be, I think, a little bit greedier here from SeriOsity, going for that 4th Nexus. I think I'd like to see him add some gateways first, but here we go. First move out here from Exit. Will he get a nice little free shot off on these goons? Okay, 1 volley. We try to push these vultures up forward. Pop goes the Dragoon.
Exit does now realize that he's been had, so he's aggressively taking this third base. Honestly, this is kind of risky. If you're playing somebody versus, like, Boa, and you miss your factory timings, you're dead. He's just going to bust you, like, in the next minute or so. But he did scan. He saw it's only 4 gates. I think he should be worried that if he scanned, he saw the Nexus not blinking, because SeriOsity would be pumping out a lot of units. However, that's a decent amount of tanks. He's got good flow of the racks. He needs to lay some more mines. He needs to get a bunker, though. If there was a shuttle here, I think he's a little bit too overextended, but there isn't, so He's in a decent position, in my opinion. It's just... Oh, there it is! There is the shuttle. However, there's nothing with it. There's no goons.
Oh, he's unsieging. He's unsieging now. Okay, everything's unsieging. All right, siege back up. Oh, no.
Oh, well...
They're getting under the tank.
Yeah,
oh, my goodness, the splash damage.
Oh, there's goons at the top I didn't even realize, and I thought that those tanks were going to be more effective than they were. He ends up taking... What? Okay, he lets one of the tanks survive. The attack is going to be a success, though. There's just... I mean, in Exit's main, he only has like 4 factories, but SeriOsity only has 4 gates also. I think that this is probably bugged right now, right? Like, we got 2K. It was a timing. SeriOsity not reinforcing. Yeah, so I think the idea from SeriOsity is great here. We'll have to see what the actual damage was, but overall, it looks like this is the exact move that you should make in this situation. Take a third base, power hard, and then hit Terran, who didn't respond with a clean build, as clean as you did.
Yeah, because if he can just reset that tank count and slow down that third, it's just a big win already. Because you already got so many probes on 3 bases. You're looking to take a 4th Nexus. You're just so ahead. Once again, you have the freedom to just keep expanding or add gate, whatever you pretty much want to do from there. So, well played by SeriOsity. All right, I think we are back and ready to see how this fight actually went.
All right, here we go. Here comes the shuttle bomb. Okay, am I getting trolled? Okay, here come the goons again. I see that we're floating a lot of money. This looks the exact same, Raz. So maybe I kind of BM'd the players. I thought that we were floating a little bit too much. We see the attack doing the exact same thing. The question to me is, what happens to this tank? Okay, it does get taken down. I knew it was 1 shot away.
Yes, I think SeriOsity really focused on attack, missed a couple macro rounds, happens. But once again, reset the tank count, Nuke, and he should feel pretty good. Exit can't get up and just get across the map right away anymore. He's going to have to rebuild everything, so he can feel very comfortable in the spot that he's in. He's in a very good position.
Yeah, when you're Terran and you're at 60, 70 supply, there's no game where you're thinking, okay, I've got enough units to take any base. So, okay, well, there's no observer here, so the Zealots do need to be careful. They all get chewed up. There's still only 3 tanks, though. The goons are going to knock down... No, they're not going to knock down that last tank. The command center might be breached, though. The range of the goons are so far away. I think he's going to actually cancel. 5th and 6th factory being produced, meanwhile. That's a dead command center. Dead command center?
I don't know if we got the cancel off there, Nuke. I didn't see that mineral jump too high. But I think this onslaught is going to continue. I think SeriOsity is up to like 8 gateways. He's just pumping units and wants to keep going. He just wants to put the pressure on. We see the archives going down, probably the Stargate behind it. And here continues the pressure. Huge! Oh my goodness, huge mind drag. Absolutely melting all of those Terran units.
Yeah, this is it. There's no tanks left over. No recourse for Terran, and Exit taps out, and unfortunately his BSL run, it is done.
Man, Naokin, that mind drag, oof, can't feel good about that when it happens. I can't even imagine what happens in a Terran player's mind. Unfortunate for Exit. I thought he played well throughout his games, but SeriOsity with his crazy mind games is going to be moving on to the next round here.
Yeah, it was brilliantly played from SeriOsity, so he definitely deserves to move on. And remember, this is a new format of BSL. SeriOsity, he's at least made it to the loser's bracket of the next round. So, unfortunately, Exit, he's just done. He'll have to try again next season, but good showing from him. We are going to be going into a break, and then we'll come back with our winners match. And as you can see, it is star-studded. It's going to be Hawk versus Jaeyun. We are back, guys, and we are in our winners match. And as you can see behind me, we've got the Hawkster going up against a new member of the YH clan, apparently. It's Jaeyun. He filling in for Artosis, who had to drop out because he's sick, but he's filling in and doing quite well. He easily took his first round down, and now he's going to be facing off versus his good friend Hawk here, and they have played versus each other quite a lot. So if SeriOsity is pulling out the mind game killing the turret, I can't even imagine the mind games that are coming in this series, especially since Jaeyun also used to play Zerg.
That between, Jaeyun constantly being on his stream, messaging Hawk, telling him, please stop dodging me and let's play some games. You know that there's a lot of banter to be had between these players for sure. So I'm sure there's an added level of bragging rights here that'll happen between these two and whoever wins this game. So it definitely should be an interesting series.
Yeah. And our players are already ready. So I just want to get straight into the game. Map is Monopoly. Game 1 of our winners match, Jaeyun versus Hawk. Okay, in the top left position, our Zerg, it is Hawk.
And in mid-right, our Protoss, it is Jaeyun.
Okay, so I know you didn't really like this map for Protoss versus Terran. I'm not a Protoss player. I'm just looking at it, and I feel like it's even worse versus Zerg. What do you think?
It could be okay because you can get to a split map a little bit better. The issues become is, once again, like attacking with the Protoss army through these tight chokes with Swarm and Lurkers can be an absolute nightmare. The couple games that I did practice with Krusty last year, that's exactly what he took the other Nat. Just made sure Sunk-ins, Defiler, Swarm, Plague, and it was an absolute nightmare to move around the map. So definitely not one of my favorite maps in the map pool for either of these matchups. The other thing is I think you're a little bit cuffed with a lot of times Forge openers, because if they go 9 pool, it is very hard to defend with the Zealot first opening because of the distance. It can get very tricky really quick.
Okay, so that's probably why we're seeing... Okay, what's this? This is... I see it says it's 10 gate, but it's actually like a 10 and a half, maybe 10 and a half gate. This is a interesting timing. Obviously, he's going to have a little bit better eco. As I've stated, these players have played versus each other quite a lot, so this could be, I know how you open. It's likely to be 12 hatch or something like that, so I'm just going to go for an eco 10 gate here, and hopefully you over respond to it. You mentioned Crossy taking another base at bottom left. I mean, I love that style. I love the Larva style. I'm on the Larva train where we split the map every single game, especially if it's a 3-player map. You think Hawk is someone that goes split map, or do you expect to see like a drone go to mid left, for example, and put a third hedge there?
I would expect Hawk to split map it. Hawk does love that style where he takes the other Nat, he builds Sunk-in, Spores, whatever he needs, and he loves to just drone up and play a big macro game from there. That exact style you're talking, Larva, tons of lings, just late game hive tech. It's just becomes very, very difficult. So I think Hawk will probably opt for that. I am interested in this early game here, Nayokin. It was a 12 hatch, and that Zealot is probably going to get there pretty quickly. So pretty good timing here from Hawk still. I thought the Zealot would get there more, but it was a little bit later of a gateway. I think if he'd won with a 9 gate, he definitely would have gave Hawk some trouble. And there it is, Nayokin. You mentioned it, and there it is.
There it is. I'm just thinking about how can Protoss attack. Like if they attack top middle, and Zerg has top middle, for example, you mentioned it is just so choked up. Lurkers will literally just chew through everything. So I'm trying to think of how many bases could Protoss realistically take. All that's really coming to mind is towards the bottom of the map, 4 bases, but Zerg could literally take at least 6 or 7. I think this is an extremely hard scenario for Protoss. We'll see how Jaeyun navigates. first 8 Lings moving across the map. Forge is halfway done. It's just 2 Zealots, though. That gateway is far forward. There's no Zealot in production. Oh, actually, it's not from replay. So actually, I don't know if it's in production or not, but we can see that the Zealot Ling dance is coming in right now.
Yeah, this is always tricky, right? Because if you pull your Zealots out to fight the Lings, you think you're going to engage because you're so solid, the Lings just run by. And then you have Lings in your base, and you are just in for a nightmare scenario. But at the same time, you can't let them kill down your gateway. That would really just set you far, far behind. So we're going to see this dance continuously. And let me tell you, not easy. Very good control from Jaeyun, making sure that his Zealots stay together or not. Oh my goodness, we see speed, and there it is! He's in! Oh no, Nyokin! It hurts my Protoss heart.
Jaeyun's counterattacking, so he's just giving it up. I don't think you can do this. He's going to lose 1 billion probes in his main. He is going to make it weird for Hawk. But if Hawk just even puts down 1 Sunken or just continues to build Lings, which he might because now he's got an open natural. Oh, actually it forces... Oh, actually Hawk's going to focus down the gateway. So he's going to have multiple opens or exits right now. That's a good probe pull. But the problem is there's just not a lot. I mean, it's 1 gate production and half the probes aren't mining anymore.
Oh, it's going to be an all-in, I think, here, Nyokin. I think he smells the blood in the water, and he's just going to go for it. He's just going to mass a ton of Lings, take out these Zealots, and all that damage... Oh, no! The Lings got in again! How does that happen with all those probes? No way!
Well, it's good. It's a good concave from the pros. You see those probes attacking the Nexus? They're like, screw you, Nexus. You ain't helping me out at all. I'm going to knock you down. But that's good defense with the Zealots and the probes at the natural. He's got a Stargate coming in. Problem is he's losing all his probes. I don't see like almost any probes mining in the main. G comes out. Is it a good or is it a game, Raz?
I think it was a game. I think it was a game. That one hurts. Every Protoss watching this stream right now. It happens. I told you they're doing the dance. You go back and forth with the Zealots, and if you come too far forward, the Zerglings just run in, and Hawk went speed first, so he just breaks in. And once you get 3-4 Lings in your base, it is just a nightmare from there. I just can't believe the Lings got in with the probes. There was like 20 probes blocking the wall. What happened?
I think Jaeyun was trying to gauge when speed would kick in, and he misgauged it because I was waiting. I was like, okay, where's speed? Where's speed? But then I was thinking, okay, maybe it's too fast for me to be thinking speed's coming. And then all of a sudden, Lings are in the base, and it wasn't 3 or 4 like you said. It was 8. You can't stop 8. That's just flat out too many. He could break off 3 or 4 in your main, in your natural, and then also backstab the cannon. Like, big misplay from Jaeyun. So he's going to have to be very careful versus Hawk here because Hawk, I mean, you mentioned it earlier. What does Hawk play like? He plays defensive. That ain't defensive at all. That's in your face. I'm going to kill you as soon as I see an opening.
Yeah, I like his choice there. I think once you saw that he got those Lings in, you saw him just make rounds of Zerglings. There was so much damage on that gateway. You have the Lings behind. Like you said, you snipe the cannon, and then you choose the rest of the Lings to bust the gateway. It's so hard from there. Early game, so fragile. PvZ, so fragile. One little misstep.
Yeah.
All right, What map would I take next, Nyokin?
Gladiator. I know.
Other than, I mean, Gladiator, unless Hawk probably banned it as his choice because he knows that everyone wants that Gladiator pick.
Yeah.
I would go Longinus here.
Longinus? Okay, tell me why. Why Longinus? I realize it's got the double gas, but it's so far away. Are you thinking you can get it?
I was thinking I could get it, and I think that for, especially if there's going to be a camper style that Hawk likes to play where he takes the other natural, it's nice to be able to push that base and get the double gas. There's only 2 ramps, so if you kind of open up and you can get on the high ground, you can kind of cut Zerg off too, right? You can block those high ground ramps, split up your army a little bit, and just defend and get yourself powered up on the 4 gas. That's why I would take it for PvZ. Now, that being said, 973 very viable here, so you're going to have to deal with some of the early game shenanigans, and then you're going to get yourself into a later game.
Yeah, my issue with Longinus is the 3rd base. It's like one of the most open bases I've ever seen. Like the mineral only, it's just so open. And I was going to say I think he's going to pick Sylphid, but you know, Sylphid has that tiny opening at the natural. We just saw a Ling run by, so he needs to be on he needs to be very aware of that because there could be another Ling run by this game. Let's get into game 2. Hawk 1 game away from moving out in first place. Okay, in the top middle are red Protoss. It is Jaeyun.
And in the mid left, 1 game away from taking this group, it is Hawk. PvZ Sylphid. Love-hate relationship. Can be a strong map. Definitely can take bases here. Definitely using 8 or Forge here. Both work. Don't love that he got the 12 o'clock base for Protoss a little bit weirder over wall. The biggest issue on this map is 973 or 5 hatch into Lurker Contain. The Lurker Contain on this map coming out of your natural is an absolute nightmare. There's lurkers on high ground, they're just coming all funneled out. Can be very difficult. So having some map presence is going to be big for Jaeyun.
Yeah, I think this is a map where I actually see 973 somewhat often from players like Hawk, whereas other maps, for whatever reason, I don't see it as often, so we'll see if he's going to go for that opener. Meanwhile, Jaeyun this time around, hitting the gateway timing, it's still going to be a 10 gate. And again, Hawky's going to go for that 12 hatch.
Yeah, so it should be pretty good here. I think he got that gateway down a little bit faster this time. I didn't see the exact timing, but the distance here is short, so he should be able to get a Zealot down into at least Hawk's base to cause some trouble. The only reason I don't love gate opening on that top base there is it's going to be a 3 Zealot wall. It's going to be a wall, Zealot in between the Forge and the gateway, and then 2 in between the gateway and the wall. So things do become a little bit more difficult. Got to be careful with those link counters once again.
And he's going to need to be careful with that probe. It's already taken a decent amount of damage to its shields. Hawk got unlucky going the wrong direction, so he doesn't know that this is a gate or Forge expand. I think because both players have played versus each other so much, Hawk probably realizes, without scouting even, that it's likely going to be a gate opener. Probe coming in for round 2, gets meted by his friend, the drone, takes a hit right to the face. Gonna take some more hits. There goes almost all the shields.
Okay, he's taking that base as his third for the gas. Away from Protoss, pretty common. But 3 hatches before gas, Nyokin. A lot of times I see that. I start to think about those Hydra timings, starts to get a little bit more apparent that might be the case. And you said, why do Zergs like to do that on this map? Building cannons at your natural here on Sylphid can be a nightmare. There's space for it, but you're going to block your units from getting out, and you have to kill them anyway later.
Yeah, and we already saw SeriOsity put a Citadel in his nat on Butter, and he had almost no surface area. So Sylphid's similar in the sense if you put a Citadel there at your nat, again, you're not going to have a lot of surface area. Now this is 6 Lings, so easily this probe can get surrounded like that. Needs to get hit maybe twice to be knocked out. Goodbye. And this is the absolute worst moment, because we could easily see a Hydrogen. Look, he's just now got the 50 gas.
Yeah, this is the difficult part of the matchup when you lose that scouting probe. You're in the dark. You have no idea what's happening now. Is it Lair? Is it Hydroden? Is it 2 Hydrodens? Double Den, double gas? But we just see a Lair here going down.
Well, I see that Zerg is 19 out of 19. I'm not sure if this was a calculated supply block or not, but the Nat was getting quite a bit of larva. We're going to be unblocked here, and I'm sure we're going to see some more drones being pumped out. Look at this Ling split. He wants to make sure that he's not getting hit by a lone wolf zealot that's hidden out on the map. It is just a probe that is trying to scout around, and it does get intercepted. He wants to know where that hatch is.
Yeah, he wants to make sure it's there, number 1, and number 2, where can he kind of find an exploitative way to attack all these bases. But pretty safe by Hawk. This became more common from Sylpha being played so much, where Zergs were starting to take these gas bases on the high ground so that they can get that 3rd gas right away, rather than that mineral only. We did see him upgrade speed, and if he sees these Zealots coming out, which he did with the Overlord, he'll probably make a couple more Zerglings. Or is Hawk going to call his bluff? Let's see. These guys play so much. Maybe he knows that he is not going to do that.
Yeah, he may know that Okay, this is a guy that doesn't attack with 3 or 4 zealots, so I'm just not going to build anything. Probe gets intercepted again, so again, he's denied, and speed kicks in, so that probe is 100% dead. Spire, I think, is halfway done by now. Stargate is done, so first Sarah is going to be coming out. Actually, that Spire is not as far along as I thought, so he may be able to get 1 or 2 Overlord kills. He knows 1 is on the right side of the map, so he's definitely going to be going into the main and try and pick a different one off, because that's a guaranteed kill on the right side.
Yeah, I would think he'll take the first Corsair to his main to kind of make sure of the tech, even though he saw speed, so he probably took a deep breath saying, okay, it's not Hydra Bust, because he saw the speed of 515. So he'll probably fly in there just to confirm with that first Sarah, make sure he sees what's going on, see all the tech, and see if he can still pick an Overlord off, because this first Sarah, you really need all the information, right? Is there a second gas? Are you going to mute a Scourge me and just kind of try to crush my main? Like, what's happening? So he'll get a little peek into what's going on here for Hawk.
And he sees he can actually kill a single Overlord. And even though there is no Nat gas at the main, remember, you only need 5 mutas to one-shot probe. So we still could see a 5 muta opener from Hawk.
No, I was going to say I'm weary of this move out, Nyokin. Okay, he stopped. You got to be careful. 1 cannon only versus like 10, 12 lings. Oh, no. Oh, no, that's not good for Mr. Jaeyun there. But 1 cannon versus that many lings, they'll just run by Nyokin. These lings are slippery. They'll just run right in your main and cause all sorts of havoc all over again. Usually, if you're going to move out with those zealots at this timing, you want to drop a second cannon like he is right now.
Yeah, it will complete by the time of that typical 7:15, 7:30 move out that we see almost every Stars player do. He's on 2 gate. What was that? All hatches? No, that's 3 hatches right there. 2 at the Nat, main hatch. So we're on 6 hatch production for Hawk. We see that supplies are pretty high up for Jaeyun relative to Hawk, but with all that larva, I'm sure he'll power up to close or similar supply to Jaeyun in just a second. We're approaching the point in the game where I like to see the gateways come in, and there's the first one. So 3rd going down, 4th should be. Oh, actually no gateways just yet from Jaeyun.
So I think some mind games here going on, Nyokin. Notice how he's made 2 Mutalisk only. I think those are the only 2 Muta on the map. Why he did that? He made him drop another cannon in his main. Made him drop a cannon in his natural mineral line. That starts to add up. Those 2 cannons are missed gateways right now for any kind of timing attack that Jaeyun wanted to do. So Hawk made those 2 Mutalisks, showed them so that he would just be able to make Jaeyun react like this.
Yeah, and this Muta is just going to buy a lot of time, keep everything back. We do see the gateways coming down at 6 gate follow-up. Behind this Hydra count being ramped up, he's got a decent amount at his Nat and 3rd base. I'm looking at that drone count, looks pretty healthy to me. Look at the supply. It was 47 to 66 a minute ago. Now it's 76 to 70. So Hawk has really caught up in supply very quickly.
Yeah, and this is really an anti-zealot timing here with the 6 hatch Hydra right here. You notice he doesn't even really have a sunken down Nyokin because he knows he doesn't need it. He knows that he ramped up his economy right away with his drones. He was making nothing but Hydra. There's no way with this Sim City that these zealots are going to accomplish anything. They're going to get pushed back. And Jaeyun's going to have to go home because if he gets caught out with these zealots or doesn't hide them well, he's going to be on the back foot for sure.
Whoa, look at this. This is how many? Is that 10 gates? That is 10 gates. Okay, so I think Sylphid has 10 patches, if I remember correctly. Maybe it's just 9. But this is a lot of gateways for Jaeyun. I guess he realizes that he's been had, so he needs to actually just literally pump out as many possible units as he can on 2 bases. We do see Nat Gas has been running for Hawk. 3rd gas coming up for Hawk, so we may see Mass Lurkers or Mutaswitch coming in pretty soon. Zealots get a kill there, but they are getting surrounded by all these Hydras. I feel like this is going to be 1 Hydra trade for 9 Zealots. Obviously, a fantastic trade for Hawk. A great split.
Yeah. This fantastic split. We see this more and more in the Korean scene, Nyokin, where Protoss really like to get these types of little hit squads for little moments like that, like denying those hatcheries. If they overcommit towards the natural, they have storms, so they run these zealots into these bases to kill drones. Definitely more and more common, but if you just start giving up 9 zealots for free or just for 1 hatchery cancel, life becomes very difficult. Zerg is not too worried, like, oh no, they're getting caught. Oh no.
Yeah, Zerg just has so much right now. It's 100 supply to 100 supply, and that means Zerg's winning right now. And he's taking a 4th base. So the Protoss is in big time trouble unless he can maybe get like a Kate Boy out on the map, get into the natural, and rack up some drone kills. Templars, Zealots moving out. This is a deadly combo. I was worried that the Templars were kind of screwing around in the back and weren't going to sync up in time, but Hawk allows them to get together. He snipes a Corsair. That's obviously a big pick off there, because now a Mutaswitch could be devastating.
Yeah, I was going to say, he has to be careful with the Mutaswitch. Got to keep flying those Sair in to look to see if more Muta are in production. I do like that Jaeyun is only making Zealots. I know like people like switch over to Dragoon pretty early, but Zealots trade really effectively against the Hydra with Storm, and they're a little bit more tanky, and if you can get on top of them, you're able to kind of just push them back. Once...
I don't like it. Jaeyun got +2 weapon. He needs armor.
No.
He needs armor. Those are good storms.
Great.
Really good storms. He has so many Zealots, but it's still 125 to 125. Hawk is going to run for his life. There are a lot of storms available. He's only used 2 of them. Hydra hit squad I don't think is really going to help him out that much. And Hawk, did he overpower? Did he get too greedy?
May have. Hydras alone, I'm not sure can hold this. Oh, another good storm. Some Zealots going down. This is a tough position for Zerg. Once you get behind your SimCity, there is not much room to micro anymore. Now, these Hydra, where are they going? They're going to go to the drone line, even worse. Oh, 1 block.
Lurker Morph at the top side, limiting the surface area of the Zealots. He's just going to knock down the Hydra, but those are fantastic storms. Oh my god! He's gonna knock down the supply hugely. Hawk down to a sub 80 supply versus still 100 supply from Jaeyun. Remember, he's got 10 gate, but there's no observer here.
I think he's just gonna snipe whatever he can. He knows these units are not coming home. They are on a one-way mission. He's gonna snipe that hatch. That's huge. He killed a ton of drones. Snipes the hatch. Is in the main with more units. He sniped the Hydra den already there, Nyokin. That's he can't make any more Hydra right now. He just finally got it up.
He's sniping drones left and right. Remember, he's knocked down 1 hatch already. Ooh, this Zealot going to town on the drone line. He's got 6 kills already. 7 kills almost, forcing out another Hydrogen, forcing another hatchery. And behind this, Jaeyun not all in. He's built a 3rd Nexus, and Jaeyun really does build his probes well. So it's going to be well saturated, and he's going to be transitioning into the mid game in a much better position than he was, a minute or so ago when it was 130 supply versus 130.
Yeah, I'd love to see him push out, maybe even start getting towards that 3rd gas space in the mid right there. Now that he has a pretty good saturation everywhere, he has the units. I would like to make sure he has double forge at some point to get those upgrades. He's going to need that armor while those weapons are going, because once those Hydra get +2, they start to pop these Dragoons like they're balloons. They just go splat blue goo all over the place. So we need to get that up.
He needs to get double forge going. I realize +3 weapon is very strong, and it's actually a huge power spike for the Zealots and the Goons, of course, but really needs to get double forge, get the armor, get the shields. Another gateway coming in, so he's up at 11. And with this map control, Jaeyun's thinking about taking a 4th base. I just can't believe the supply we're seeing from Hawk. Remember, he lost his hatch at his net. He had to rebuild that. Yet somehow he's back to 117 supply versus 135. I would have felt like it would have taken longer for Hawk to get to this supply, but what a macro god he is. And Mutaswitch. And I haven't seen a Sair in a long time.
Yeah, this is a really good call here. He'll be able to pick off these Templar, no problem. Though the army's getting more Dragoon heavy, but we both know it's just not enough to kill them fast enough, right? Like, they can just fly over the army, force you to storm on yourself by mistake, and just pick these Templar off one by one.
Yeah, this is going to catch Jaeyun completely off guard. He has no idea. Oh, hello! Goodbye, Templar! Those are good storms.
Great storms.
It doesn't matter.
Goodness.
He loses 3 Templars. None of the Mutas die. And look at this. Just because there's Mutas out on the map, he instantly gets out in the middle. And there's the one shot that I was talking about earlier. 9 Mutas versus +0 armor Templars. Goodbye Goodbye Storm, and that means Hawk can move into position for this killing move on the 4th base.
Oh my goodness. +2 armor is up here for Hawks. I mean, +2 attack is up here for Hawks. So these Hydra are going to do so much damage. Watch them engage these goons. Here it comes. Blue soup all day right now. Oh no, there it is.
Okay, the good control from the goons to knock down the lurkers, but like you stated, just so strong the Hydras are with the +2 weapon. Hawk pushes him all the way back. I mean, there wasn't even that many lurkers. It was just 2 lurkers. There's no AoE at all. Now, look at Protoss just funneling in really one at a time. That's an amazing storm, but what a trade from Hawk.
Yeah, Hawk really on the front foot now here. He's going to keep pressing this. I think he might even try to go for the killing blow here at the Nat. He knows that there's no more storms. Templar are low right now. He sees the shuttles, wants to harass. Well, too bad. You need all of these units here right now. And you just see blue starting to stream across the map, Nyokin.
Yeah, and unknowingly, Hawk has also cut off probes being sent to mid-right. So there's 4 bases, but only 3 base running for Protoss. And Protoss is approaching the time I was talking about, the 17-minute mark where Main and Nat gets mined out. That's going to be a transfer from the 3rd base, so the 3rd base is undersaturated right now. 3rd base actually gets compromised. That's going to be a dead 3rd base, and there's a lurker contain being set up outside of Jaeyun's base. Look how mined out the natural is. He has what, like 150 minerals left maybe there? That's it. Not even.
Yeah, I did like the probe transfer. I think he knew that 3rd base was going down, so he exited all those probes right away so he knew that he can get those minerals up. Oh, we see him double shuttle here, getting out so he can get some units on the map to try to pull him away. Because I think that fearful moment I had is coming to fruition now, Naoki. I think we're going to see a very large lurker contain outside of this natural.
Yeah, and it's about to be 1 base Protoss. That's it, because he can't transfer probes anywhere. He doesn't have a base anywhere. He's elevatoring just to get out onto the map. Zerg is not scared of 8 zealots or 4 zealots at this point in the game. They're just not. So Jaeyun, he is on potentially his last leg here. He needs to make something happen. Otherwise, Zerg is just going to set up an unbreakable contain, like you said, with the lurkers and the Hydras.
Yeah, we see him just elevating units out, trying to get on the map, trying to get some distraction away, pull units in every different direction, cause a little bit of chaos. I think that's a good little bit of strategy right now, but the issue is, like you said, okay, it's 1 base Protoss. It's just not going to be enough. Like, this is not enough damage here to get yourself back in the game. He's going to have to break that contain somehow.
Yeah, I have to say, Jaeyun's been elevatoring back and forth pretty quickly. He did a really good job of that, but it's just not enough zealots. It's 1 in the natural, 4 into the main. Actually, this might deal a decent amount of damage, draw the attention away from the contain right here. We're going to try and get out is Jaeyun. Lurkers are not in the best position. There are so many clumped up Hydra. Storms could be amazing. He needs to hit that block right there. That's fantastic. Oh my god. Hawk not paying attention because there's so much action going on in his main right now.
Oh my goodness, those storms are fantastic. Another good one. Can he land one more? He has the energy.
But he has no supply. It's 125 to 125. But where are the zealots? That's another great storm. Ooh, did he do it? Did he actually get out?
I think he's going to break out here, Naokin. And I know that he's on 1 base. If he can secure that top right again, he'll be okay. Hawk has just been powering on these 4 bases, finally taking 1 bottom right. Not saturated yet. He still could keep himself in this game. He has a ton of gas. He can make some Templar, kind of sit a little bit, and just kind of get his econ back in order here.
Yeah, Jaeyun's oversaturating mid-right. Like, literally every single probe is going over there. So if there's, like, an insane lurker drop or something, and it gets onto the probe line, he would kill every single one. He should consider just long-distance mining top right, but I don't know if Hawk will allow that. Here he comes for round 2. He's got a supply lead this time. It's simply just a money game right now. Hawk has too much income coming in. The Templar's going to die left and right. You can see there's just not a lot of army left over for Jaeyun. And again, another contain being set up.
Yeah, I think Jaeyun's going to start to fizzle out here a little bit. We saw the second armor upgrade wasn't even complete yet. And Hawk is just going to set up a massive contain with so many units and just a hatch production, taking bottom right, securing it. He's not even worried that Jaeyun has that one base. He's like, all right, man, you can mine that one base. I'll mine these 3 or 4, and we'll just go from there.
Again, the shuttle coming in, drawing the attention of Hawk away. The shuttle almost died, actually. I'm actually curious if there's even units inside of it. He's going to unload at the third. Okay, there's Storm inside. Tries to catch the drones, but kind of whiffs on both of them. But that is going to trigger the attempted break. Another good Storm onto 2 clumps of Hydras.
Very good Storms. And he's breaking out again. At least he's on the move here. He is not giving up easily. He is trying to make everything that he can out of this match right now. I just know right now he's mining with probably 60 probes on that one base right now. Just not getting great saturation or money in right now, but he's making an attempt at it. He's doing a good job here.
Yeah, this may be the Hail Mary. He's just going to try and bust here with 120 supply. Nope. Okay, he is actually going to take the third base here. This is high ground. I think this is a fine choice. He will obviously have the good angle. He's got a lot of high-tech units, the Dragoons and the Templars. Hawk has been stuck on this, like, pure Hydra Lurker for a long time. Obviously, it's fine, but there's no Hive at all. There's no Defilers. If there's a big favorable trade for Jaeyun, he could all of a sudden go up to 5 bases real quick, I think.
Yeah, Jaeyun needs to do just to sit back and chill, because it's good Storm, good pick there, but it's only a Hydra Lurk, right? We don't have Hive, we don't have Swarm, Massling coming in here, breaking down these bases, so he can take bases. He can continue to take bases and just keep on sitting. Keep letting the Zerg attack into you. There's no rush until that Hive starts to come. Then you really got to get on the map and try to do something there.
Yeah, and crucially for Jaeyun, even though he's lacking minerals, he is not lacking gas. He could build like 8 Templars. And we do see that the Protoss army did extend quite deep, and it almost triggered a counterattack from Hawk. The Hydras just barely miss the probes being transferred, but this is going to be a backstab from Hawk from the bottom side. Actually may intercept these probes. Jaeyun not paying attention, but Hawk is. Goodbye, probes.
No. Not like this, probes. Not like this. You've been working so hard in that top right base.
Well, Hawk just backs off, and he's going to take bottom right. He's already got the natural there. He's going to take the main, and he's done a good job to make sure he's not oversaturated anywhere. He's going to transfer like 12 over to the main base, so it's going to have good econ coming in. Jaeyun trying to get his supply equal to Hawk. He's within 30. He's got the good upgrades. He's got really strong army with all the storms, but I mean, there's no zealots here. There's really nothing to buffer for the goons.
Yeah, I think he is going to try to keep moving in, keep plucking the space away, maybe take that top left base, but 3-1 now is okay. I would have liked to see the armor upgrade for those +3 weapons, but I think he's just trying to do whatever he can in here and just trying to get to that big giant death ball that Protoss can have versus Zerg.
Well,
these are all tough bases to attack into now. Okay, this is hard for Zerg to funnel through here, so.
Yeah, and Hawk is aware of how much storm Jaeyun has, so he's not willing to really commit to anything. I will say he has to commit to something pretty soon because he's approaching max, and I mean, you got to do something with your maxed out army, especially when you don't have Hive. So we'll see what he opts for. I would actually like to see a drop. That's what I want to see from Hawk if he's not going to go for Hive. You know, all the units are out in the center of the map patrolling back and forth. Hawk could easily... Oh, that's what I'm talking about! Oh my god, he killed so many pros, but Jaeyun did a really good job to react. The triple lurker drop, decimating tons of probes. I don't know how many got lost there, at least 20. Jaeyun still has so many left over, though.
I felt those lurker spines go right through my spine, Naoki, and it hurt to watch all those probes go down like that. Arch my back up, a little bit of pain. Oh man, let's see Jaeyun here on the map now. Let's see if he can do something army versus army. Has a ton of storm, has a ton of it to try to mingle in here.
Oh no, Jaeyun's made a poor decision. He's caught in the center of the map. It's going to be flank city. So many Hydras, so many lurkers. I mean, these are fantastic storms. You can't get better storms than this. The problem is, it's a maxed out Zerg army. It's just going to never stop. Look at it, full 360 surround from all sides. All the Templars die. All the goons die. Supplies have plummeted for Jaeyun, down below 100 now. Almost none of the lurkers died, and he knows he just ransacked tons of the probes.
Yeah, he really just secured the entire map control with that fight right there. That was a fantastic arc from both sides, making it so those storms get less and less surface area. I mean, they were fantastic like that, but when you're double the supply of Zerg, life is just difficult.
Yeah, and it's a 3-player map where it's split in Hawk's favor. Oh, look at this. Another ambitious 4th base. This time it's going to be Jaeyun building. Yeah, it instantly cancels it. Now that the Overlord spots it, he has no map control at all. I mean, where do you expand? Like, Zerg has a vision of everything. You can't expand anywhere. And the 3rd base that Jaeyun's taken in the middle, that's a base that has, what, 500 minerals per patch? So that's going to mine out. Oh, actually, it's about 1,000. But that's still going to be mining out really fast.
Yeah, and we see Hawk is finally getting into that hive tech. So he's going to have the Defiler Mound on the way. It's almost done. And I think that's why he's not opting into attacking into that base, right? He's not forcing or pushing it because it's just not worth it. Let him sit on those 5 mineral patches while you have the entire map and can just keep going and wait for the army to come out.
Yeah, I think that's a smart move. If Jaeyun doesn't get a base in the next couple minutes, I mean, he's simply just going to not be mining. He's going to run out of money. He needs to secure the mineral only. But even if he secures the mineral only, he still has no map presence at all to secure top left, for example. And Hawk already has 6 bases. He's taking the 7th base at the mineral only bottom middle. He can take the mineral only at top left if he wants. That puts him on 8 bases.
Yeah, I think Jaeyun is a little bit on the timer here. We see another lurker drop. No! Don't do it! Oh, no.
All right, well, not as big of a hit as the other one, but still gets a decent amount of probes. It's 150 supply to 100 for Jaeyun, so still a huge lead for Hawk. But as you stated, Hive is done now. I'm sure Cracklings will be coming in pretty soon.
Yeah, I think that's really going to be the final nail in the coffin here in this game. Once the Cracklings come with the Swarm and Plague, like you said before, Naokin, those goons, all the damage they do once the Swarm comes goes to 0. They do no damage under that Swarm. So, going to be just very difficult.
Well, they have to deal some, right? Blizzard wouldn't do that where you deal 0. They got to deal some.
They might even do damage to themselves while they fire into that Swarm. That's how
don't tell me that.
That's how mean Blizzard was to support Protoss players for this Dark Swarm thing.
That sounds like a StarCraft 2 spell where you, like Fungal, where you got damage that kills the unit that can't move. You can cast it while burrowed. That's some BS. We need to get David Kim on the line to balance our game.
All right, we see Jaeyun here moving out again, and Hawk is just positioning these Hydras in a giant arc, waiting for Jaeyun to get into the middle of the map so he can come from every single angle to just trap this Protoss army.
I mean, the army looks pretty strong, and it's not, and it's even without 80 supply. The problem is there's just so much Zerg, and again, there's no buffer for the goons. Like, the Lings haven't even been shown yet at all. This base is about to mine out. Protoss actually has mineral only going up. Jaeyun again is going to try and push here, but Zerg is just going to deny this attempted attack. And I see so much blue over on the left side. Looks like we may actually finally be loading up for a drop. Oh, no, we are not. We are still just continuing to mass.
Yeah, it's just his rally over there. Just getting bigger and bigger with all those Lings. Soon that
DT. DT sneaking in. At bottom right. Is it in bottom right? I know there's a DT going to the mineral only. It got spotted. Okay, Observer. Actually at bottom right. And DT does get spotted by the Overlord and Lings at the mineral only. Ooh, Storm drop. That's nice.
These are very good. These are the little things that he's going to need to continue to do to try to pull himself slowly back into this game. The only thing I worry about still is the amount of bases that he has. Like you said, mid-right is about to mine out. That base is getting lower and lower. I mean, he's really, really on a timer here.
Well, Hawk has let him get to sizable supply relative to Hawk's own supply. It's 143 to 174. Mid-right's about to mine out, so need to transfer some probes from that base. Hawk has started to secure the left side while also securing the bottom side. So really, all Jaeyun has available to him is top left and bottom right high ground base. We've got a massive attack coming in. This is a lot of goons, a lot of storm.
Ketchup.
Oh no.
The ketchup.
That's a big catch-up attack, and all those goons are basically half as strong as they were a moment ago. Shuttle almost gets picked off. Lots of storms going down. Still, Hawk is not using his whole army. Another big catch-up here hits a decent amount of the Templars, decent amount of the goons. This is a scary army.
Where's the swarm? Where's the swarm of the Lings? Just send them all in.
Did Jaeyun overextend? I think he did. There's just so much non-stop plague where all the units are blanketed now. Now's the time to send in all the Lings. Hawk, you gotta send in the Lings now, man. All of them are hurt. You're gonna lose this base. This base is dead. Oh, look at this. He's trying to buy time to take the base at top left. He's tried to sneak it.
Yeah. Okay, this little attack here might... I mean, there are so many Templar! Oh my goodness.
Yeah, but there's no support.
Oh
my
Oh, we're
God.
gonna try to make... Oh no.
I was actually a believer for a second. I was watching the supply get lower and lower. I'm like, is Hawk really gonna throw this game? But now that I see that the army got eaten up and top left got denied, Jaeyun's back down below 100 supply, and there it is. The GG comes out in an epic game. Hawk is gonna take the series 2-0.
Wow. Really well played by Hawk. I thought that Jaeyun attack really crippled him a bit, but he just bounced back. It was like nothing even happened. He just made more rounds of drones, more Hydra, and his supply was still within 20. He was like totally fine. Crazy game.
I also had the same thoughts. Like, you know, a lot of games I can identify where it went wrong for Protoss or whoever's playing. But Jaeyun, he took a third base. He had 10 gate production. He had the upgrades. I mean, he had 2-0. He didn't have +1 armor. And like you said, he killed the Nat, killed the Hydra Den. There's nothing there where I'm thinking, like, okay, this was the botch. It was just Hawk simply macroed like a madman somehow, caught up in supply, set up the contain, and then there was just nothing Jaeyun could do. I honestly don't know what Jaeyun could have done better there.
The only thing that really got him, I think, into the mid game was the Muta Switch. I think the Muta Switch took out 5 Templar. That's so much gas, that's so much AoE, and then once the Protoss army tries to fight against the Hydra Lurker with Zealot Goon, it's just no chance. It's just too hard. So I think the Muta Switch was a really good choice, and it really caught, I think, Jaeyun.
Yeah, I forgot about the Muta Switch, but yeah, that was a game changer and gave control of the map to Hawk that Jaeyun could never get back. And that means Hawk gets out of our group in first place. I think a lot of people, when they saw the group, were thinking that's probably going to be the case because Hawk is a madman with Zerg. He's so strong in the NA scene. But it sets us up a rematch in our Deciders match. Jaeyun won earlier versus SeriOsity, but now he's going to be facing off versus him again. Maybe SeriOsity can turn it around. Regardless, both players have made it into the next round. It's just depending on whether they're going to get placed in the loser's bracket or the winner's bracket. But we're going to be going into a break, and then we'll come back to that series and find out who else is going to make it into the winner's bracket. Is it going to be SeriOsity or is it going to be Jaeyun? gentlemen, we're getting into the final series of the day. It's a rematch between SeriOsity and Jaeyun. Jaeyun took down SeriOsity 2-0, but I think SeriOsity could have at least gotten one game. Gladiator kind of didn't go his way. I am looking forward to this, simply because the Gladiator game let me know that SeriOsity definitely has build orders planned.
Yeah, I also think, at least in my opinion, is that it gets tricky sometimes playing the same player twice in a group stage like this. Especially when they've shown you they can do some tricky stuff. Like, you're not sure what they're going to pull out. Is it going to be another proxy? Is it just going to be standard play? Like, what's going to happen? But I think it definitely gets a little bit tougher the second time around, for sure.
Yeah, because these moves from SeriOsity that I'm seeing, the exit game where he kills a turret and he's not even going DTs, we've already got proxy gates. None of these moves, not that I've played SeriOsity much at all, but like I said, whenever I played SeriOsity, everything seemed like pretty normal, and these are just not normal things that you expect from him. So you gotta start thinking like, okay, this guy really did plan build orders. You gotta be on your toes for everything, and Jaeyun could overreact defensively. And if we think back to the DT game, or the lack of DT game on Sylphid, SeriOsity transitioned that into just double expand. So Jaeyun needs to be aware that SeriOsity could get away with murder in terms of build order. We've decided that Vermeer is going to be our first map, so let's get into it. Okay, in the top left, our Zerg player, it is Jaeyun.
And in the bottom right, it is our Protoss. It is SeriOsity.
All right, well, Vermeer, what's your thoughts for PvZ on this map?
So I know in ASL, it was a bit of a Protoss graveyard for PvZ because of all the contained play in the 973. I personally don't think it's that terrible of a map for a Protoss because of what I said before. There are a lot of gas bases. So if you can get some map control and get out of that contain, you can really find yourself as 4 gas Protoss really fast. And then you're just powering. And then, in worst case, you could take a split map from there.
Yeah, I also think that this is a fine map, Protoss versus Zerg. I remember, what was it, Rain versus Sulky or Rain versus Soma? Rain was just in these players' faces non-stop, and he had good control of the map, or decent control of the map. He really kept the pressure on. He fought on the high ground when he could, like in the center of the map, you have those ledges. So I think this map is fine for PvZ. We do see another gateway expand for Oh no, sorry. This is not Jaeyun. It is SeriOsity.
Yeah, I wonder if it's weird switching races from match to match like this. Like, do things get a little bit more difficult?
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
Just keep it straight, from game to game.
Yeah, I feel like Jaeyun doesn't even play. I think recently he started playing Zerg a bit, but up until before that, I don't think he really was playing Zerg much at all. So I don't know how crisp his ZVP or his Zerg openers will be. We see he's going for a 12 hatch, followed up with standard pool. We do see, is that a drone going to bottom left? But I think this is just a scouting drone. I guess it could hang around though, build a hatchery down there.
Yeah, this is always unfortunate when you're Protoss. I feel like if you see the cross map and you've gone gateway first, it's just really hard for your Zeld to get a lot done. We do see that since SeriOsity has recognized that he's just going to cut and that next Zealot out and just put down a Nexus, which I think is a really good choice. Try to take some eco back since you know that you're probably not going to get too many drone kills with this first Zealot.
Yep, we do see third hatch at the close third base, so it's not going to be split map like we saw Hawk pull out on Monopoly. It's going to be, and it's not even going to be like what we saw Hawk pull out on Sylphid with the bottom middle base. So does this signal anything to you when you see a Zerg player take a third base this close?
I would say the opposite. If I see him take something closer to me, I worry more about 973. So for me, this is just pretty standard. Nothing too crazy right away. Right now, I'm just looking at link count.
Oh my gosh. This was like perfectly controlled by Zerg, was it not? He hasn't lost a single Ling yet. Okay, now one falls. But if you're just losing 2 Lings for a Zealot and a Probe, that's a fantastic trade.
He does see the lair, so let's see if he keeps it. I have encountered many Zergs that... Oh wow, was that core before Forge? Or no, it wasn't, but core down very early. But I have seen some Zergs be super tricky, where they'll show you the lair, and then they cancel it and put down the den right away. But it looks like Jaeyun will not be doing that, and will just be playing standard from here.
Ooh, look at this stutter step micro. Not able to get another Ling. Okay, there he does. Gets that one down, but it is going to fall. Instant cannon.
Absolutely needs it. You know, got to be safe there. It's kind of like we saw from one of our first series, right? Like, you got to build those sunk-ins when the Terran bios come, and same thing here. When these Lings come and things like that, you need to have the cannon up because they can just wreak havoc in the front of this wall.
Yeah, I don't, and this is not going to be a Ling bust this time, but SeriOsity just playing it safe. Now, in the main, unlike the Butter game, not straight Citadel, this is, I'm pretty sure, a Stargate going down for him. Probe comes in for another scout, but gets denied. But one thing to point out here is the 450 normal speed timing is not kicked in, so he may be... Oh, now it does just kick in, so scratch that.
Yeah, right around that 5-minute mark. When your gate opener, they should have the speed, so he hopefully seen it and he's okay. I'm glad that he chose to go Stargate here, because against Lair, we've seen it. The Muta can just be so deadly. You need to have some Sarah out on the map, just really knocking those things down and kind of giving you some presence as well, because the Muta could just end the game immediately.
Well, we've got 4th hatch coming. 5th hatch going to be coming pretty soon. Jaeyun, I was going to say, it looks like he's very low on drones, but now he's got that drone cycle in. Ramp it up to about 30 or so drones. Nat Gas finally coming in for SeriOsity.
Yeah, seems a little bit later there, but maybe he wants to add his gateways a little bit faster. He does have +1 weapons going for air and +1 weapons for ground and a Citadel, so pretty standard play from him here. He'll probably get up to the 5 Sarah mark to try to pressure, and then get into like a speed zealot timing as well to see if he can hit that combo timing.
Well, he does intercept an Overlord in the center of the map, so he's going to knock that down, but he may trade the Overlord for getting intel. So he's got to be careful here with this Corsair. We already saw Jaeyun insta-lose his Sarah versus Hawk. That's a Hydra Den, I imagine? Oh, another hatch. Okay.
So 6 hatch production here. Oh, no. Oh.
Close. Almost gets it, but in the end, he's not able to, and Jaeyun is now pretty supply blocked. Another Overlord fell at the bottom side of the map, and SeriOsity is just going to walk back to his natural with both of them alive. That Zealot count is getting dangerously high. We're at 6, and we're approaching 7 minutes, 7:30.
So I would say I'm starting to get a little concerned here for Jaeyun. This supply block has been a long time now, and this move out's going to come. Well, see, he's putting down Sungas, I think, because he's nervous about this move out timing compared to when he was able to get units up. We might even see some Muta come out here.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think that this is going to be Mutas, and that's going to be the case. He just spent all 600 of his gas. He has absolutely no units other than these 6 Lings, and the rest are just drones. Now, that's an amazing trade. How did he get that straggler Zealot?
Yeah, SeriOsity did go +1 attack for air, so I'm going to curious see if he went for the +1 armor for the Muta as well. SeriOsity may not be thinking that this is Muta only because he's made so many Scourge, but here we go. We do see this Muta Scourge timing here from Jaeyun. He might have to split up these Zealots and run them back.
Yep, the Mutas perfectly timed, intercept the Zealots, and now SeriOsity is just going to have to accept that a couple of these Zealots are just going to outright die. Behind this, SeriOsity ramping up his gateway count. I think he's at 4 or 5. Theirs being ramped up also, but not an overwhelming amount right now, just 3. I notice that Nat is kind of open to harassment. Here we go.
has to react. Be Sarah to get them over here.
Only 3. Is he really scared of these 3? The answer is no. He comes in, he gets a connection, and he knocks down one of the Sers. He's going to knock down 2 of the Sers. There's only 1 left, and that means that this natural probe line is still getting rampaged on. So many probes falling down. The Ser falls too. Oh my god.
Oh no, Nyokin, this is just tragic here to see this happen, because I'm sure back at home the Hydra dead. What is that, Ser? Is that a bad rallied Ser? I'm sure there's a Hydra down, and he is just going to be pumping Hydra from this now, because he knows he is doing fatal damage. Fatal damage to him. Oh my god.
He just taps out.
GG gives in. Oh no.
Oh, not like this. SeriOsity, I think, was in a fine position, but the mutas just did an insane amount of damage, and he felt like he couldn't recover from it, so he just taps out. That sucks for SeriOsity, because I really did think after he killed both Overlords and supply blocked him for so long that he's going to scale into the mid game in an amazing position.
Yeah, he really was ahead there, and we saw how long that supply block was. If he could just continue to make Ser and actually combat those muta, I think he would have been totally fine from there. Because you know drones weren't making, right? Because there was no units being able to be made. There was in red, so it's unfortunate that he couldn't kind of get through the mid game there.
Yeah, and unfortunately for SeriOsity, that means he is on his last life. If he loses here, well, he's not going to be out, but he's going to be sent to the loser's bracket of the next round, which is going to be best of 1, and that is a dangerous situation to be in. So he definitely wants to get a victory here. We already saw him pick Gladiator. I guess he could pick it again. Oh, he does! I can't believe it!
Yes! I love this super high IQ play here, Nyokin. What are the chances he goes 9-9 in the middle again?
I was going to say, I think there's no chance of him doing it, but we already saw the clever play on Sylphid picking off the turret when we're not going DT. So I would actually say it's pretty darn high. Let's get into game 2, find out if it is going to be the 2-gate in the center of the map. Okay, in the top left, our red Zerg, it is Jaeyun.
And in the top right, needs a win here, it is SeriOsity. All right, let's see.
I think I interrupted you while we were in the map, or looking at the map screen, so you think he's going to go for it again? I guess not, since the probe is a little bit too late.
I'm thinking maybe he'll go like 9-9 to the natural.
Okay, well, I mean, Gladiator... The problem for me is if you're going to 9-9 the natural, you can't really build that many cannons, right? Like, Gladiator is known to just have almost the worst SimCity at the natural that I can think of. So it would be quite risky now. If he does go for 9-9, I don't know about this gateway placement.
Well, I'm looking over here at Jaeyun's side right now, Nyokin, and it hurts to see the 9-pool speed coming up, because gateway opening versus 9-pool speed can get very, very hard. So he is going to need to put a forge down immediately when he scouts this and sit back with his zealots and defend right away.
Well, luckily he scouted Zerg first, right? So you're going to see it coming from a mile away. And he knows that this is, the speed. He saw the gas. I guess Jaeyun could get weird and go into like a 1-base lair. I mean, I guess that's a possibility. Some people on ladder versus me, of course, Zerg versus Terran is different. Try and get frisky like that, but we do see Jaeyun not going to do that. He's going to pull off of gas, all of them on gas, and just go back to minerals. And that's a double wall. What's that other building? Another pylon?
Must be a pylon. Yeah, so just making it so that it's just 2 gap for 2 zealots to hold. I mean, he's just going to need to continue to make probes and make the cannon, because if he doesn't and tries to get at all greedy, he will just insta-die.
Well, Gladiator, I'm looking at it, and it doesn't seem like it takes... Oh, is that a solid wall with the gate and the forge? It looks like it is.
The gate and the forge will be solid. Okay. Above the pylon, below the pylon will not.
Okay, there we go. So the forge is going to be tried to get knocked down. Zealot pops out, and it is
There we
Off for
go.
now.
We're going to do the dance.
Yep, this is the dance that every Protoss has to be careful with. It's 6 Lings versus 2 Zealots. That cannon does complete before the Forge gets knocked down. That means Jaeyun's going to have to back off for now. So far, SeriOsity has done a good job to hold.
I'm curious to see what SeriOsity's response is going to be, because I have seen Protoss respond differently. Some just take the Nexus and play from there. Some actually forego Nexus, take their gas early, and go Ser right away because they know the Zerg doesn't have the gas to defend the Ser. But it seems like he's just opting to take his Nexus.
Yeah, I did see that Jaeyun went for, or SeriOsity got a secondary scout. He saw that there was no more mining of the gas, so this may have swayed his decision. He just wants to go for a standard macro follow-up. We see that Jaeyun is putting a 3rd hatch down at the mineral only, and we are starting to mine our main gas again.
I think SeriOsity just kind of adding on more probes, just kind of building up to his mid-game. He's probably not going to be able to do much, and what's trickiest about this situation for Protoss is exactly this. You're just in the dark. You're blind. You have no idea what Zerg is doing. Is he droning? Is there 45 Lings on the map right now waiting for you to move your Zealots out? Is there a Hydra Den? Like, what's going on? You would just have no idea.
Yeah, that is really what makes EVP so hard. It would be different if they had ComSat or something where they could actually scan, but you have no idea. And the Ser is not going to be in time, I don't think. Cybernetics is about halfway done. You can see SeriOsity's worried because he's put down a 2nd cannon. Jaeyun with the 8 Lings on hold position, making sure that nothing gets out. Something to note that Jaeyun may be paying attention to is, hey man, why is your Forge not spinning yet?
Yeah, I would agree with that he's waiting to see what he's doing. It's not spinning, so automatically tells you, hey, Stargate right away. So this Hydra Den may be for pressure, it may just be for Overlord survival, but I could see Jaeyun just saying, you know what, we're going to make a bunch of Hydra, we're going to get range, and we're going to get real close, and we're just going to bust this base.
Well, I only see, 2 drones at the mineral only, so not 973 just yet. There it is. Okay, he did just transfer 1 drone, so this is the 973 that I've been waiting so many games to see. Almost nobody plays the style anymore, and as we stated before, Gladiator doesn't have the best natural for building cannons, but it looks like SeriOsity's done a good job. I think he can fit cannons right there.
Yeah, he can fit another line behind and one to the left of that top cannon. But I'm going to tell you, Naogan, the fact that he cannot scout this is going to be the hardest part, because if range kicks in right away, or even speed, and he gets on that first cannon on the top of the Forge, he's going to pop the Forge in the gateway right away.
Yeah, and I think
panic.
I think this is all in Hydras too. I don't think this is like 6 and I'm just going to back off, but as I say that, I see a 4th hatch coming down. Hydras still haven't been shown yet. Okay, maybe it is only going to be 6. Is that it? He's just going to pop the Forge. Oh, look at that! He sends in the Ling to soak up the shot so he can knock down that cannon at the bottom side. What a move from Jaeyun. Now it's Lings plus Hydras versus slow Zealots. No way they're going to win that fight. Amazing move there. He's going to knock down another cannon at the bottom side while also knocking down the Forge. Just perfect.
Cannon getting up here now.
Ooh,
Cannon getting up. Oh no, he didn't target it down.
He didn't, and that means actually the Forge might be safe because there's only 4 Zealots. No, scratch that. Zealots decided that they did not want to risk it, and the Forge does die.
Yeah, it's tough right there. Resetting the +1 timing. He's going to have to make another Forge somewhere else. And the problem behind this is it seems like Jaeyun making some more drones behind this and just kind of chilling back. So he knows if he can stop this first Zealot timing out, he should be pretty good. But SeriOsity has scouted it with the Ser, so...
Yeah, that's the thing, is that the Ser did spot everything, so he knows that he doesn't have to build more cannons than this. He still built 5 or 6 of them in total. Wow, the Hydras do pick off that bottom cannon, but he's still not worried about it. He's got a Citadel coming up, he's got gateways coming up. He still only has 3 gates, though. But for now, he is fine. Uh-oh, big supply block coming in.
Yeah, I would have liked him to cancel that if that's +1 air. I'd like him to cancel that. I love the double forge here. Definitely a good look to get both upgrades going right away, so you can kind of match some of those Hydra-esque attack timings. Because one of your forges died, if you stay on one, you're just behind all game. So definitely a good move from him there as well.
Well, we've got the double forge follow-up, so it's going to be +1 weapon and +1 armor. It just now started, so that's going to give us basically an 11-minute upgrade power spike. We do see, I think that's a Spire. And it's still, okay, it is 5 hatch, but look at that third base. You don't really have a good Sim City here, like no real good area to build a Sunken. However, that Ser got gifted.
Bye-bye, Ser. I like this, just getting up to 7-8 gateways again, and I think he should just macro impress. I think that's absolutely the best way to do it. From this, they definitely cut early. You know that if you get on this, and this map's odd. Can you get up on top of that high ground and attack into that low ground third? Maybe you get some free hatcheries down there.
It could happen. I think that this 4th base is a bit much for Jaeyun, but I'm getting worried that SeriOsity is about to move out, and we're going to see mutas pop out. There's no Sers, so the mutas are going to, of course, push the Zealots back. But this 4th base could be knocked down right now. There's only 8 Zealots, though. Oh, no! Is that another miss rally just like last game?
Those poor Ser. They didn't need it. They didn't deserve it.
Well, that's what, 2 or 3 Sers gone? And, SeriOsity wants to make an attack. Oh, is that a stuck Templar between the pylon and the cybernetics?
I think he can go up and around the pylon, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't even know how he got there from a gateway.
Well, I mean, he's kind of in a sneaky position, actually. You can storm. Protoss or Zerg thinks there's nothing there, and actually, oh, hello, there's a storm, so it could be just sneaky positioning. Zealot does confirm mid-left, and are those the Zealots at bottom middle? I think they are. Like, I see that supplies are even, basically, but it just feels like the army of SeriOsity right now is tiny.
Well, I think Jaeyun's taking something out of the Hawk playbook here, the 2 muta scare.
Yeah.
Hey, I got muta. See how many? And you make all these cannons, but just kidding, it's just 2. Oh, no.
JK.
Yeah.
Well, those Zealots were JKing at bottom left because they're showing to the Overlord and then backing off. We've got Goons in production. Supply is pretty much dead even. It's 97 to 91. It's 8 gate versus 6 hatch right now. Remember the 11-minute power spike. There it is. 1-1 kicked in. Probe gets intercepted. Will be knocked down. Zealots trying to move in for another attack. Ooh, all the Hydras were out of position. He might be able to get into this 4th base. Maybe not.
Yeah, I think at this point in the game, he needs to not throw any of these units. He needs to really, I think, gather his army together, group it, and look for a little bit of a death ball and see what he can push in. Because if he loses to those Zealots, I mean, he can't move across the map. Like, he's just stuck. So I think he needs to really make sure that he's gathering everything as one whole army.
Well, there's where all that gas was going. I was wondering, since you have a Spire, you didn't use it on mutas, where is it actually going? It's into those lurkers. About 10 of them are morphing. We saw that the Overlords have speed also, so drops could be deadly. Not the greatest map for defending drops is Gladiator. Another Goon falls for just for free, really. Probe's gonna get sniped also, so really nice, annoying control from Jaeyun. He may even snipe that Nexus. Nope, it's a little bit too tanky for that. But Gladiator, I mean, it's one of those maps where you can get high ground, and then how would Protoss engage? I like how SeriOsity is moving into the high ground position right now to make sure that that doesn't happen.
This is where it gets tricky. Right now, like I said before, attacking up into these high grounds, into these lurker fields, is an absolute horror show. It's just so bad. So I'm hoping that SeriOsity won't go through this avenue. Maybe he'll go down through the bottom a little bit and come on up, because if he runs his Zealots into this high ground, into those lurkers, they are going to disappear.
Oh my gosh. And before the fight even happens, the Zealots take 3 or 4 shots, and they instantly turn around. And you Protoss fans out there, you should be getting nervous now, because it's 125 to 125. I didn't see an overwhelming amount of Templars. Okay, maybe there's more Storm than I thought. That Templar has 200 energy, but still only 2 Templars, and the lurkers are spread out very well. Oh, free observers, free Templar, free goons. They both die.
Not good. Not what you want here. Jaeyun doing a really good job of just picking off important units, right? Protoss only has 1 observer. Gets killed. Can't come with the high ground. Can't see the lurkers. It's all, you're in trouble. And we see him transitioning right into Hive already, probably for some swarm play. Naokin, definite trouble here for Protoss.
Yeah, he's got double evolution chamber 2. So he'll be getting his +2 power spike pretty soon. I noticed that one of the forges was not spinning when we initially looked at it. Okay, it looks like he's fixed that. So his 2/2 power spike will be coming in. But really good repositioning from both players. Trying to attack from the bottom side is SeriOsity, but Lurker's already into position. More Lurkers moving into position. That's up very far forward. Templar not casting any storms just yet. Lurker A gets completed, but this is a counterattack to the 3rd base, so both players going for a 3rd base trade.
Did he forget Storm? I think he forgot Storm.
Oh no! That's true. We haven't seen a single storm all game.
And he morphed an Archon. Yeah, he definitely forgot Storm.
Well, he's still barreling in on this 3rd base. The problem is it's still like 8 hatch production, but it is high ground goons with an Archon to support. But Lurkers and Hydras moving into position from the backside. Hydras coming in from the top side. And unfortunately, SeriOsity's attack is going to be pushed back, and his 3rd base was completely obliterated. So he's reset back down to 2 bases, and he's going to be mined out soon.
Yeah, we're getting into dangerous territory here, Naokin. We're almost into 15 minutes, usually around the 17-minute mark. That is it for your main and natural. They just become mined out. And after him losing an army, he's now behind in supply, and we know that Jaeyun's Hive should be complete. So he is really in a good position right now to take this game 2-0. Oh, and we see the GG from SeriOsity right there.
Yeah, nicely done from Jaeyun. The counterattack was perfect, and unfortunately for SeriOsity, those Templars that had 200 energy, none of that matters if you don't actually have the Storm upgrade. That's a real feels bad moment for him. He's kicking himself for that, because I think he was in an okay position. I mean, I still think he would have lost simply because he lost his 3rd base, but it's heartbreaking to lose like that.
Yeah, it's tough to do that. We've all been there. We've forgotten a major upgrade somewhere here or there, but you always wonder, would the fight have been different if I stormed those Hydra and got on his 3rd, kill some drones, maybe I can hold it. It's just a tough scenario, but it happens. We all, misclicker, just don't make it happen.
Yeah, but Jaeyun, he makes it out of the group in 2nd place, which means he's going to be placed into the top side of the bracket, the winner's bracket. And he'll be facing off versus a 1st place finisher from one of the other groups. Don't know exactly which one just yet, but SeriOsity, he's in the loser's bracket in the next round, not out, but all of his matches are going to be best of 1, so it's going to be tough. Or the initial match is going to be best 1, so it's going to be tough for him. But that's it for us, guys. Thank you so much for watching. We, of course, want to thank our supporters of the BSL, the main sponsor, of course, Optima. Then we have all of our Patreon supporters, too. So we'll be seeing that screen in just a second, I'm sure. And at the $100 level, we have Star Lover. $50 level, Anthony Chen, Martin Harzmar, Striker, and Zero Sum. $30 level, Robert Groot, Blizzardo86, Cuz, and Tupacalypse. And at the $20 level, Nicholas Schuler, Christian Eddington, LML, Liam Pump, 9 Tech, and Quark. And we have several other Patreon supporters. Thank you so much for supporting the BSL. And remember, $10 support through Patreon or above, you get all the replays of the BSL, not just the American Championship, not just the Latin American Championship, but all of the championships. So definitely consider becoming a BSL supporter. And here you go, you get a look at the brackets and see exactly what's going to unfold. So 2C, that is Jaeyun. So we're going to have Dragon versus Jaeyun. Then 2C.
That's Raz.
Oh, that's Raz. That's Raz McDass. We got PvP in the top. Then in 1B, we've got Hawk. 1C, who's that going to be? Boa? Okay. And Quark versus... Oh, Jaeyun. How could I forget? Quark versus Jaeyun. So some epic matches. I got to say, my group is, or my matchup is not exactly what I was hoping it to be, because Boa has some good macro. Let's just say that. But Raz, what do you think about your matchup versus Dragon?
Always tough. Dragon, extremely solid player, staple of NA. So definitely a difficult match as well for me.
Yeah, but regardless, I think we've got some good matches. I'm looking forward to seeing how the winner bracket unfolds. And then, of course, the losers bracket. Can anybody make an upset in the losers bracket? But that's it for us today, guys. Thank you, Raz, for casting with me. It was fun.
Dude.
I know I
Yeah,
saw a lot of people in the chat really loved your casting, dude. So we should do it more often.
we'll have to get together, real Dan. We'll have to make it happen.
Yeah, for sure. All right, guys. Thank you again for watching the BSL. We'll be back tomorrow at the same time, same place. So we'll see you there.